entertainment stories we're going to dive into. This was a biggie from a couple of days ago, but after a lengthy battle, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie have reached a divorce settlement.
Wow.
A high-profile celebrity romance that soured. Brangelina first split in 2016 when Jolie filed for divorce.
It's crazy.
The couple originally married in 2014 following a near decade-long relationship. So you may forget, they were together for a long time.
Before they got married. You know, the crazy thing is, they're still nuts about each other.
Jolie's lawyer, James Simon, said, frankly, Angelina is exhausted, but she is relieved. This one part is over. He called the settlement, the terms of which are not public, just one part of a long, ongoing process. So it's not finished.
Right.
But this is a milestone event that took place.
Think about the amount of money expended on lawyers' fees over almost nearly a decade.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, so, all right. So, in the beginning, I thought you were saying that this is over, and now you're saying
Nothing's over! Nothing is over!
Right.
In the 8 years since Jolie's filing, lawyers for either...
We're talking about Cassidy the kid!
For either half of the pair have duked it out like Rock and Clubber Lang, maybe, and Apollo, including in separate proceedings over custody of their 6 children and control of a French vineyard purchased together in 2008.
Go for it.
It was the
vineyard. Go for it.
It was the dispute over the vineyard.
You're not getting it!
That revealed Jolie was accusing Pitt of assaulting her and 2 of their children on a private flight from France to Los Angeles in 2016.
I tell you what, moments in pop culture history where you would like to be present to see what really happened. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall inside that airplane and see what exactly happened.
Well, I've been in the same room as both of these people.
Right.
And a little bit closer to
She hit on you.
Yeah. Well, she smiled at me. So I'm going to side with Angelina on this one.
Okay.
Because she smiled at me.
Why were you in a room with her?
Airport.
Airport. I just walked past her in the terminal.
Right.
I think I was in Atlanta, some layover. And Kath, I mean, I was closer than I am to Preston right now.
Wait a second, are you a Fish fan?
And I just looked. I was probably wearing a Fish shirt. But
oh my God, me too.
I looked up and we locked eyes, and I just said, "Oh my God!" And then she smiled at me,
Why don't
Kathy.
we go back to Preston's room?
How great would that have been if she lifted up her skirt and she had panties on that had little red donuts on
Oh my
them?
God!
Would that have just blown you away?
Oh my God! I would have had to change my underpants right then
Tell
and
you
there.
what, pick your favorite donut and go for it.
She holds up her finger like this and goes, shh.
By the way, I used my donut duffel bag.
It was my gift to Casey. All right.
It was cool being in the same room as Brad Pitt because he came in to promote World War Z at the theaters in King of Prussia, and I remember it vividly because he said this exact same line. You know, he's going to crush a cheesesteak in one theater, but I ran from the one theater to the other theater, knowing that he was going to go to the second one, and to see him come in, I mean, it's freaking Brad Pitt.
I like them both.
I like him a lot.
I want him to be happy.
So
I'm a simple man.
In later court filings, Jolie contended Pitt's abuse of her started long before the plane incident, but this was the first time the children had been subjected to it. He denied the allegations. After looking into the incident, the FBI declined to pursue an investigation or charges. Pitt ultimately won joint custody in 2021, but not until after a tug-of-war in which a judge accused Jolie of keeping the children from contacting their father, and lawyers of the actress alleged Pitt was not paying meaningful child support. In June of this past year, their 18-year-old daughter Shiloh petitioned an L.A. court to drop Pitt from her name. The two also share Maddox, Pax, and 16-year-old twins Vivienne and Knox. The other ones are both over. Maddox is 23, Pax is 21, Zahara is 19.
So the final step is the custody of the Beanie Baby collection, right?
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what the holdout is. Pitt has since returned full force to Hollywood after a few years in the background, and Jolie is also back on the screen starring in Maria on Netflix and a biopic of opera star Maria Callas, by the way. Actor Gal Gadot revealed that she was diagnosed with a massive blood clot in the brain during her 8-month of pregnancy earlier this year that required emergency surgery. It was a candid Instagram post. She said that she was diagnosed in February after experiencing excruciating headaches that confined me to bed for weeks. She said, I finally underwent an MRI. That revealed the terrifying truth. In one moment, my family and I were faced with how fragile life can be. It was a stark reminder of how quickly everything can change And in the midst of a difficult year, all I wanted was to hold on and live. She went to the hospital and within hours underwent emergency surgery.
It's pretty amazing.
And then her daughter was born,
She said she came close to dying.
She said, my daughter Ori was born that moment of uncertainty and fear during that. Her name, meaning my light, wasn't chosen by chance. Before the surgery, I told Jaron that when our daughter arrived, she would be the light waiting for me at the end of the tunnel. The mother of four thanked the doctors at Cedars-Sinai in L.A. for their dedicated care. She said, I made it through and began the road to recovery. Today, I'm fully healed and filled with gratitude for the life that I've been given back. And she said that her health journey taught her many lessons, including listening to the body and being aware. So it was pretty bad. It was very dangerous, so I saw this as well. Alabama Barker was recently hospitalized after suffering from nicotine withdrawal.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So she's, of course, the daughter of Travis Barker and former Miss USA Shannon Moakler. 19-year-old Alabama was taken to the hospital after 911. Have you guys seen her, by the way?
Oh,
No,
yeah. She's an OnlyFans type person. So she had her boob job to up her money take, and she's on that cosmetic path.
Yeah, I mean, she's over 18 now, right?
She's 19.
Okay,
and
Alabama.
She's buxom and curvy, and her face is always way done up.
To be honest, she looks like Shannon Moakler.
Yeah.
So she's going through the same process.
Yep, exactly. And there's like a picture of Travis next to her, and she's all just popping out of this thing, and I'm like, oh wow.
Well, he paid for those.
But he's, I mean, he lives that lifestyle, so.
My understanding was she has a vape addiction. Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, but she vapes nicotine.
Yeah.
So the aspiring rapper was transported to a Los Angeles area hospital and looked over by medical professionals who told her that she was suffering from nicotine withdrawal. They also advised Alabama, who quit cold turkey, that abruptly stopping smoking vape pens can lead to withdrawals, even after only occasional use. And it's not clear when exactly she was admitted to the hospital.
Do you remember the condition they were talking about when the vaping addiction first started to be a thing? And it was almost like lung...
Popcorn lung.
Popcorn lung.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember exactly what that was?
There are just, these nodules that grow in your lungs that you can't really get rid of. And it has something to do with... Oh, guys, like microwave popcorn, people that were working in those factories. I don't know.
Described by TMZ as being only an occasional vape smoker, Alabama appears to have already been released from the doctor's care as she was home in time for her birthday on Christmas Eve as well. In a TikTok video shared on December 27, she revealed that she recently had the flu. She also continued by revealing her Christmas haul, which has been valued at about $80,000. She said, I'm
Mother of Christ.
Grateful for all my gifts.
Thank you, baby Jesus.
Wanted to share because some people requested it, she had said.
Popcorn lung is a condition that damages your lungs' smallest airways and makes you cough and feel short of breath.
Okay. The Barker scion reportedly stopped vaping after deciding to pursue a career as a rap artist more seriously.
Well, that's going to pan out.
Individuals in the music industry had supposedly advised her to quit, stressing the damage that vaping could have.
No, not the vaping, the singing.
On her voice.
Please stop. It's not good for you.
So she had
You're giving me popcorn ears.
Nicotine withdrawal. Jocelyn Wildenstein, the New York tabloid fixture known for her surgery-enhanced feline features that led her to be dubbed Catwoman, has passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So looking at the obit, and I forgot, Preston, perhaps you remembered it, I didn't. Prior to all this surgery, she was a gorgeous woman.
Yeah, she was very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wildenstein's partner, Lloyd Klein, said she died of pulmonary embolism.
I'm Catwoman, Lloyd.
In Paris. The Wildenstein's actual birthday has proven hard to track down. Klein said that she was 79. Other outlets have also reported she was 84 at the time of her death.
I feel like I either saw this woman or somebody who looked exactly like her at the King of Prussia Mall one time.
Case, I was flying out of New York one time, And I thought I saw her. It was not her, but a woman who had exactly this sort of feline thing going on. Clearly the product of way too much cosmetic surgery.
Steve, look at this picture of her when she was younger.
Right?
She's
Yeah, she's pretty.
like gorgeous.
Yeah. The New York City socialite became a tabloid fixture in the 90s amid her divorce from billionaire art dealer husband Alec Wildenstein, or is it Wildenstein? I'm not sure. Though she was well known.
It's Drinkenstein.
She was notably nicknamed Catwoman due to her distinct facial features. Born in Switzerland, she told Interview magazine that her childhood was fantastic. She had a love for Africa. During the time of the 2023 interview, she noted that there were over 2,000 animals at the Wildenstein family ranch in Kenya under protection. She also met her ex-husband in Africa. In addition to her ecological and educational philanthropy work in Africa, she also began dealing art with her then husband. She shared that they usually spent about $1 million every month on their lavish lifestyle.
Wow.
They have 2 children. After nearly 20 years together, the two sparked a media frenzy with their messy divorce proceedings, which last for 2 years. And she claimed that she discovered Alec in bed with another woman. The New York Times reported that she told police that Alec waved a gun at her and he was arrested. At the time, Alec was released in order to stay away from her and restricted from entering the Manhattan home that they shared. It was rumored that Alec encouraged his wife into surgeries so her facial appearance would appear more feline. But People magazine also reported that Jocelyn claimed that part of why she got some facelift surgeries was because Alec, quote, hates to be with old people.
Oh, my.
But in a Vanity Fair interview, Alec said she was crazy. He said, I would always find out last. She was thinking that she could fix her face like a piece of furniture. Skin does not work that way, but she wouldn't listen. At the end of their divorce, she was awarded $2.5 billion plus an annual $100 million for the next 13 years. Damn.
Come on. You know what, though? It wouldn't be worth having my face up like that. I mean, this moneymaker that you see right here,
Yep.
you don't screw with that.
Despite the financial reward, things eventually took a turn when in a 2023 interview, she admitted that she had to file for bankruptcy in 2018. She
Yeah.
couldn't hold on to $2.5 mil and $100 million a month.
You can't do up a budget?
She revealed that in 2015, the family of her late husband, he had died in 2008, they terminated the annual payments, though. So that was part of that. She began
What am I going
dating
to do without my $100 million?
fashion designer Lloyd Klein in 2003, though they also had
I'm a fashion designer, Lloyd.
their fair share of tabloid attention. Wildenstein was arrested in 2016 for slashing Klein's face with scissors during a fight,
I remember this.
in which she also allegedly threw a burning candle at his face. They reconciled in July 2017. Amid her financial woes, Wildenstein and Klein said they plan to create a documentary series about her life. She was survived by her 2 children and Klein.
So I heard they'd actually shot that. Like it was kind of a reality show, a couple of episodes, that they've shot it. And basically, after it was completed, she died.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
So it just...
It just wrapped.
Wow,
recently.
no kidding.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll come out someday.
Yeah.
I would think so. It would be pretty compelling to see, I would imagine. Actor John, and I need to know if I'm pronouncing his name correct, John Capodice or Capodice, Capodice.
The first one sounds right.
Best known for his roles in Ace Ventura and Seinfeld, passed away. He was 83.
You know this guy the second you see his face. He's a character actor.
Cause of death has not been announced during his decades-long career. The Chicago native appeared in a slew of high-profile shows and films, including Ace Ventura, alongside Jim Carrey. He also starred in General Hospital from 1994 to 96. He worked on Seinfeld, appearing in the 7th episode of the show's 2nd season titled Revenge. In that episode, he portrayed a guy named Vic, laundromat owner, who has one of his machines destroyed with cement by Kramer after he and Jerry suspect that Vic stole money. He served in the Army in Korea in 1964 to 66, returned home and launched his acting career in late 1970s.
And in Bohemian Rhapsody, he plays Brian May.
No, he does
not.
But he was in Wall Street, The Doors, Honeymoon in Vegas, and Independence Day. He also appeared on shows like CSI, Law & Order, Will and Grace, Melrose Place, Mad About You, 6 Feet Under, The West Wing, and others. And his first TV role was in the show Ryan's Hope as well. So sad news that he passed away at 83. All right, I just was looking at pictures of this today. Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson.
Come on,
man.
If
She's
you look at
24.
What do you see there? I see a Beata nurse and the patient.
On New Year's Eve, Hudson, 24, shared a post toasting the new year with her boyfriend, 72-year-old former New England Patriots coach Bill
Can
Belichick.
you imagine being her dad? Your boyfriend's here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does she tuck him in at 8:30?
Dude, and and I was kind of doing the math. Like, my oldest is 24, and I'm not anywhere near 72 years old.
Come on.
That would be effed up. And she's gorgeous.
She
as
is.
You would
She's a
imagine.
cheerleader.
So she wrote, "Cheers to our third midnight kiss."
Yeah.
He was asleep. She went over and gave him a little kiss.
Wait,
on
you
the
know
cheek.
that
Oh, my
every
God.
night he falls asleep early is one less night she has to face him in the dark.
And she takes off.
Yeah, I'm out.
She heads out for the evening.
I think the post was taken down.
Really? Okay. She
I
added
put some NyQuil in his Bosco.
Well, she added in fine print at the bottom of the photo, "Nothing changed for us in 2024 except for public knowledge."
Except I grew to despise sex.
And then she wrote, "Yet somehow everything changed. Fourth calendar year, going strong. I can't wait to take punches for you in 2025. Keep swinging, keyboard warriors. Your illusion of righteousness only fuels my authenticity."
Absolutely.
Authenticity.
I love your man boobs.
Oh, my God.
So the post was taken down for some reason. However, I did find another post. It is him fishing on a beach, and she has a mermaid tail on.
Yes.
And he comments and says, "My biggest catch."
So
And,
that was from Halloween, I believe.
okay, and as you can imagine, people aren't really nice in the comments.
Oh, my.
I'm rooting for both of them. I really like. He's winning because of her, and she's winning because who gives a crap? Because he's going to be dead in 10 years.
Well, I guess it's Nick. Several years ago, when Billy Joel showed up with some
Seriously.
20-year-old girl, we were kind of like, he just doesn't care.
You can roll your eyes as much as you possibly want, and listen, roll your eyes because it deserves, and then just acknowledge whatever.
He won.
Who
No,
cares?
it's part of the agreement.
Yeah.
It's part of the agreement. He gets to have that, and we get to mock it, and that's how the world works.
But here's the thing. So I have a friend who, whatever, she's
remember
an
you.
acquaintance, right? And it's so sorry, but it is so hard to look at. It is awful. It's every time something is posted, there's 9 million text messages back and forth. Like, what? How? Why? I mean, we know why he is a billionaire. We know why.
This is grandfather level here.
Oh,
know?
this girl, same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it might even be great grandfather.
Wow. I can't listen. Am I prepared to say categorically it cannot happen where a relationship like this, fueled by love, can actually exist? I'm sure it has. I'm sure it's happening right now. But you look at something like this, and your first instinct is to say, "Come on."
She's stunningly gorgeous. She's 24. He's filthy rich and an old man. Come on.
By the way,
I mean, and as long as they understand, hey, I'm using you for this, and I'm using you for that.
Then you
If it
find-
works for you guys, go ahead.
He's going to be coaching college football.
I know.
And the people he's going to be coaching are basically the same age as his girlfriend.
Younger than.
Younger, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's got to be funny when they ask about or have conversations about stuff that happened 5 years ago when she was 19 and he was in his late 60s.
Under a year ago, she posted cheerleading pictures.
Yeah.
She was Miss Teen USA not that long back.
And there she is with her. She just got
Seriously.
a driver's license.
She was Miss Teen USA.
She was in the contest. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So this was not that long ago.
My dream is to be with a man decades older than I am.
And but I'm sorry, on a sort of parallel note, in the Miss America contest, a chick from Wildwood is part of I think Miss New Jersey in the Miss America contest. You know
Really?
that? Yeah.
From Wildwood?
Yeah. So San Jam?
Yeah.
The owners of San Jam, it's like their daughter.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Daughter.
Interesting. All right, a couple other quick things, and then we'll move on to the clips. If the season 2 finale of Squid Game left viewers wanting more, they can rest easy knowing that round 3 is just around the corner. After the highly streamed sophomore season of the Korean drama dropped last Thursday, Netflix graced fans with the first teaser for season 3 on New Year's Day, featuring a creepy new character.
Steve, did you watch?
I watched most of the first season. I
Okay.
did not watch any of the second.
So I watched the whole second season. First of all, there were only 7 episodes, and I thought that was a mistake because when it ended, I was like, okay, there's way more
to be told?
To be
Questions?
told here, yeah. And
Did you like the tone of it? I heard real hardcore fans complaining about the fact that how how the games are executed and that the judges and everything are a little bit more involved?
Yeah,
does that make any sense to you?
Yeah,
I don't know what they're talking about, but it seemed to be a sticking point.
Steve, the first season, I did the dub and not the sub. This season, the first episode, I tried to do subtitles and I couldn't do it, so I had to go back to dub. And there's issues with that.
Right.
I had issues with listen. There's at one point where they're doing this one game. They're all kids games. And so there's 5 teammates, and they're all locked in legs together.
Right.
And they have to walk around this track while their legs are locked together. And the way they're walking around this track, it's like they're playing little kids games. I was like, guys, you already saw half of your people just get shot to death, right? And now you're like, 1, 2, 3, and you're having a great time.
They should be terrified.
They should be terrified, and they're not. So tone wise, I was like, this doesn't track. But when it ended, I was like, okay, this can't be it. So I already found out all of this stuff.
They might have taken a season and split it in half.
Well, they basically wrote and shot seasons 2 and 3 together.
Okay.
So I'm just hoping that season 3 comes out sooner rather than later, that they don't make us wait an entire year for this.
No, it's going to be this year. It's in 2025. Case, I don't know exactly when, but the clip, the 15-second clip, shows 3 new players in their numbered tracksuits entering an arena where the giant red light, green light doll Young-hee's back is turned. After showing her face at a railroad crossing, a boy doll is revealed on the other side of the tracks looking back at her, and that's this new menacing character. So, by the way, it launched on December 26th, raked in 68 million views in its first 3 days on the streamer. It was #1 on the weekly non-English TV list in 92 countries, and that made it not only the most watched series of the week, but the best performing title overall. So, yeah, that'll be this year, Case, for sure. All right, and then one last thing, and then we'll move on to the clips. Although the holidays are barely over, ABC is ready to get back to class with a new teaser for Abbott Elementary's upcoming crossover with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. In a new promo for the 2-episode event, which starts on January 8th on ABC with a new episode of Abbott, the teachers and staff meet the unhinged crew before chaos inevitably ensues through the halls of the elementary school. Rob McElhenney's Mac appears to strike up a flirtation with Janelle James's principal, Ava Coleman, telling her, "Let me know if there's anything you need," and I mean anything, with a suggestive look, despite coming out as gay in season 12. With season 4 of Abbott largely focused on gentrification in the school's Philly neighborhood, and season 17 of It's Always Sunny premiering in 2025. The plot details of the crossover are still unknown. The second episode of the crossover will air on It's Always Sunny. Brunson had previously detailed how the really exciting crossover came to be. She had connected with Rob after social media comparisons of the show. She said something online came up, and he was like, somebody said this seems like a Sunny episode, and it seems like an Abbott episode, and then we just kind of connected over that, and it happened.
It's funny because I was watching this teaser, and Abbott employs the same sort of the office moving camera, zooms, which you'll
Modern
find out
Family.
until to see them react comedically in that tone is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's a different take, and I wonder how Abbott will look when it's on Always
Done that
Sunny
way,
doing their format.
It impresses me that the guys at Always Sunny are able to be creative.
After this many years.
15, 16 years in, they started 20 years, because they started in 2005 or 2006, and they still find ways to be inventive and change things up and remain current by being on this crossover. It's remarkable to me that they're still pertinent.
Yep. All right, we're ready for clips, y'all. So after winning 6 Emmy Awards, Netflix ordered a second and third season of Squid Game. We were just talking about that. Here, Lee Jung-jae talks about how his character, player number 456, evolved from a warm and naive person to a driven figure who's out for revenge.
게임을 멈춰야 되겠다라는 생각이
My character Ki-hoon, he spent 3 years determined to stop the game. So I think he thought a lot about what it takes to do that. So he is on the search for the recruiter. And in that process, he got a lot of help from others, and he spent a lot of time on that.
Shut up, dummy. First of the year.
Squid Game Season 2, streaming now on Netflix. Here's our next clip. So Timothée Chalamet playing a real person on screen is gift because the material already exists, except for Bob Dylan footage between 1961 and 1963. And here Timothy talks about what he was able to find.
There's some TV, weird daytime TV broadcasts he was in 63. But 61, 62, the only video I could find, and it's this obscure video of him dangling off a scaffolding. and he picks up a hat and he puts it on. So, in some ways more challenging and limiting to play a real person, but this felt really free because Bob Dylan was free, and he basically did whatever he wanted.
Complete Unknown is in theaters now.
I'm going to see it on Saturday with my dad. He's a huge Dylan fan, and we're going to go see it at the Colonial Theater.
Oh, really nice. My wife saw it.
Yeah, what'd you think?
She thought it was really good.
Yeah.
She was very impressed by him as Dylan, very impressed by Edward Norton as Pete Seeger.
Right.
And the actor who plays Johnny Cash was in that one of those Predator movies.
Okay.
Who totally blows everyone away because he's amazing. But the supporting cast, the music, the recreation, it's all supposed to be phenomenal.
Yeah, Steve, I saw one review that said Ed Norton steals the movie.
Yes. Well, he's going to be nominated, and Chalamet is as well, apparently.
A couple of reviews I read said performance is great, story a little off a little bit. I don't know. I got to see it myself, but who knows?
When they go to Westeros, that's when everything goes weird.
Like he said, there's missing footage in his life, and maybe they fill it in there. I don't know. All right,
Game of Dylan.
That's your entertainment report for the first time for 2025. And by the way, thank you. Looking out our windows here in lovely Ballackenwood, Pennsylvania, it is a gorgeous sunrise. And the good news is, as we're on the upswing, as far as the days getting longer, we are in the height of winter, but we're going to see these days get a little bit longer each day from here on out.
Technically, this is the first sunrise of January 2nd.
It is the first sunrise of January 2nd, without question, yes, of 2025.
Yeah, not other parts of the world have had it.
All right, so enjoy that sunrise. Enjoy your drive in. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a second. Don't forget, in our studio, or no, not in our studio, via Zoom. He was supposed to be here. I was so looking forward to it. But Shaun Cassidy is going to be joining us. He's going to be at City Winery tonight. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
They're labeling this, Preston.
No. Oh.
An utter catastrophe. Oh, my God. It's been a while. But the return of the utter catastrophe joke.
I never see that setup coming. I get these stories ready to go in the morning and sometimes think, I wonder what Steve will say about this.
But they don't know what moved them to do that?
Man, we're milking this one.
No one knows what may have steered them off of the cliff.
It just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Still going.
Before they had to hoof it out.
All right. Okay. What else you got?
Teats. All right, anyhow, the 13 Heron cows broke.
The crowd loved it.
They did.
You can hear the applause.
Broke out of their pen, ran towards a cliff, and either fell or threw themselves off the 50-meter drop last Wednesday night. Wow. 12 of them died. The 13th actually survived, probably because it landed on the others, but was injured and taken to an animal hospital. The cows broke through several lines around the pasture before finding themselves on the ridge. They fell into the void as though they were forced into it. The president of Farming Insurance Company in the region told the paper, in total, the cows were thought to be worth about 20,000 francs.
They're saying the remaining cow's odds are half and half.
Oh, God.
Got one more.
Oh, my God. That one I actually liked. Okay. That was good. They belong, even though it was cheesy.
It's a dairy product.
That's right. So they belong to several owners. Were all grazing on land belonging to a couple who said that they thought some kind of predator must have chased the beasts off the cliff.
That must have been one hell of a predator. It's not.
Yeah.
They're not even considering a suicide cult.
Nevertheless, the behavior was
a bovine suicide cult.
Yeah. I think they need to consider all.
We're just cows.
In a new study, the finding of which was published in the Journal of Molecular Psychiatry.
Yeah, I get it all the time.
Has said that women are more likely to have a mind-reading gene mutation that gives them the ability to read a person's thoughts and emotions by looking at their eyes. The scientists found that the genetic variants on chromosome 3 in women are associated with their ability to read the mind and the eyes, known as cognitive empathy.
Yes.
Which is an interesting term.
I could see that, though.
Yeah.
Do you find you're intuitive, Kathy? Like when, for example, Dennis sees your Target bill. Can you see into his eyes?
No, but I think I could look, and more so though with men than women. Like if do you know what I'm saying? Like if it was a girlfriend of mine, I'm not sure that I would necessarily be able to tell. Maybe that's because we're I don't know, better at hiding,
cancel each other out
or something like that. But and not and like maybe you guys too, or other men that I'm close with.
Do you want to see my defensive face so that I can show?
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Right, Preston?
Yeah, you look stupid.
Yeah.
I know that face.
I go gump. I'm going gump.
I'm going dumb. I'm going gump. She'll never break through.
I gotta go gump on this one, or she'll be on to me. I don't know.
You know what? I don't find myself trying to think too much about trying to read people. Casey reads people a lot, I think. Do you notice that about yourself, Casey?
Yeah, well, I was a communications major, so.
That's where they teach you to read people.
No, but I do. I find that Casey reads people a lot and can say that, he's lying or he's thinking about something else.
Hey, Preston.
Yep.
I drew a picture.
Okay.
Hold it up.
Look into my eyes. What's the picture of?
It's a penis. I knew it. Steve, I didn't even see you.
All right.
That's just because you guys are in love.
That's just because I know.
Let me do it. All right.
You going to draw a picture?
Yes.
Dude, I totally nailed that.
Yes, you did.
What else would you draw? I almost said butthole.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Steve drew a picture of, what is it? A penis. A hairy penis.
I knew it was hairy balls.
I drew it with hairy balls.
Okay. All right.
Kathy, you going to draw something?
Yeah.
Well, Kathy should be able to divine.
You know what? Yeah.
All of you are going to draw a penis. Any guy here in this entire place is going to draw a penis. So
I won't draw a penis.
You're lying.
I promise.
All right.
Kathy.
All right.
I drew a picture.
Okay.
Kathy, really look into
Casey's eyes. Okay.
Okay.
It's a dog's penis.
No.
Am I close?
Preston.
All right.
What did I draw?
This time you drew a butthole.
No, I draw boobs.
Okay.
Nick drew boobs too.
All right, Kathy. Can you see it?
No.
I can't.
I'm guessing what you drew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now look, you got to look into Preston's eyes. Preston, you have to let her see your eyes.
Yeah. Don't cover your eyes up.
Right.
Don't go gump.
A butthole.
She's terrible at
Close. It's a vagina. No, wait. That's a penis. I'm sorry.
That's a penis.
Veiny.
Veiny, too.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
Okay.
You want?
Have you proved anything here?
Do you want to see what I drew?
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
yeah.
no, look at
No,
Kathy's
see it.
eyes.
Steve, do it to Steve. He's better.
All right. I can't see to the paper. Right. Something you drew.
Look at her eyes. The eyes should give it away.
Yeah, the eyes are the window of the soul.
Yeah.
Soul is in Korea.
Also a fish.
It's also a shoe part.
Yeah.
And it's also a type of music.
Listen, when you guys doodle, that you draw penises.
I know.
What
but
do you think? For real though, what do you think?
Big sweaty vagina.
No, that's not what I would do.
All right, hang on,
not what
Kathy.
I would.
All right, so I think you're going to draw
Vaginas are hard to draw. Penises
They are.
easy to draw.
a taco and add extra lettuce. Yeah. Isn't it a penis?
It's not.
Okay.
Preston, you guess.
It's a car. We were just talking about cars. Oh my God!
What is it?
I did that just for you guys.
What is that?
That's somebody taking a dump.
Is it something dripping?
Is it a
It's a butt.
You have
I'm
brothers.
a terrible artist.
A butt into a target,
I thought it was
dripping
gonna be-
into
No,
a
that's the
target.
toilet. That's the toilet.
toilet. Okay.
I thought that was a puddle.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
I thought that was sweaty balls in a puddle underneath of it.
So a study in this regard.
We just conducted. We need to share this data.
So we're getting ready to play a game, and so here's the deal. Let me set this up. I said it just a moment ago.
Yes.
U2 is doing the Joshua Tree 30th anniversary tour. They made an announcement they were going to be in Philadelphia, which is this Sunday. So a few months back when the announcement happened, I called up two friends of mine because the three of us together went to see that show. It was at the Arena in St. Louis, and we it was a big deal because the Cardinals were at the 7th game of the World Series that night.
You had to make a call.
We had to. Are we going to watch the game or are we going to go to the concert? We had already bought the tickets.
How old are you at this time?
We were fresh out of high school, first year, so 19 years old, something like that, because it was 1987. And we went to the concert, and I just was so blown away by the show that night. And I was like a mid-level U2 fan. I thought they were a really good band. I knew enough of the material to go to the concert. The new album sounded great. I hadn't listened to the whole thing. I had heard, some of the songs that were on the radio. I'm like, all right, let's go. And left that night just amazed. The lights came up. The crowd was still singing. They ended with 40.
Which is awesome.
And the crowd is still singing and singing. The band was long gone, and we were still singing, and the lights stayed on. And I was just like, this was amazing. This is the best concert I've ever seen. And I was just dumbfounded for a while after this. So it was a significant show.
Yes, yeah.
And when they made the announcement that the 30th anniversary was coming around, I'm like, I got to get these guys. We got to get together. We got to go see it together.
Everyone had the same experience with your friends here?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. So they're back in town. They got in yesterday and the day before, and we're going to the show on Sunday, and we're going to play some golf and stuff while we're here and just having a buddies thing, which is pretty cool. So I told you guys this, and you decided, well, why don't we have them come in? And we'll play a game with them.
Sure.
About my teenage and formative years.
Right. We've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And so there's some stuff that we know. There's some stuff that I'm going to be asking. I have no idea what it means, but it should resonate with you guys.
Yeah, because Casey, I gave him some phone numbers from some old friends who couldn't be here, and he tracked them down and got some info, right?
Yeah, I talked to Hawk.
Yep.
Right. And then I talked to either Patty or Sandy.
I think you spoke to both of them, didn't you?
No,
I gave you Sandy's number.
You gave me Sandy's number, and then Patty somehow got involved as well.
Yeah, so those names pop up, and then the parole officer, of course. Obviously.
You needed all
all
info.
of the information, yeah.
It's funny because I was, I consider myself a child of the 80s. And I definitely had yearbooks and all those things that I can look back at because I was in school at the same time as Preston, but I was slightly younger. And to see what you guys were doing, and I think you're like 7 years older than me, but like what you guys were doing and what you guys were up to in 7th and 8th grade, and then high school, it's just
It's freaky, isn't it?
Completely different world.
I mean, I look back at my old pictures, and there I am at the Continental Congress.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, well, it's just so wild.
Because I've told you guys in the past what DBH meant.
Yeah, Dubong hits.
Dubong hits. And so Casey's looking through my 7th and 8th grade yearbook and all the signatures and people signing, and it's like, dude, DBH till you can't stand it anymore. And this is in 7th and 8th grade.
And that's from teachers.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So
But
he was just looking at it and being
But
blown
it's
away.
also funny because I think, a lot of times we have this attitude of like, oh, these kids today, they're crazier and they're doing things that I never did.
With
and
their
then,
malt shops and their leather jackets.
But the reality is I think the kids of the 80s were probably way worse than anybody now.
I guarantee you every generation has that perception.
Yeah.
And but there's
Thank you, Kathy. So, back into work. Back first show of 2025. We had a nice extended break. We do that at the end of the year every year. And I think all told 12 days in a row off, which was really, really nice. But I have to say I'm ready to turn over a new leaf.
Oh, yeah?
I have at the this past couple of weeks, the end of the movie Dodgeball where Ben Stiller is laying on the couch and he's gained all that weight back and he's just swimming in a tub of ice cream.
F and Chuck Norris.
That was me.
That's you?
Pretty much this whole break.
When did
I drank and I ate with reckless abandon until about 3 days ago.
So we were recounting the story of your massive imbibing. Was it last New Year's?
That was New Year's Eve, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We didn't even do anything on New Year's Eve this year.
Neither did we. And the weather was horrible.
And I ended up, I was still, I need a break. and so I didn't do anything New Year's Eve. I didn't drink, nothing, and just hadn't been drinking nothing. That's a Gary Lauer reference. But anyway, yes, I'm ready to start anew.
Okay.
And to start loving myself again.
How do you feel about that? Are you?
I feel good because
are you mentally committed? That's the biggest thing.
I am, and the main reason being is because I know that in years past, when I have strayed a bit from a fairly good routine, that when I get back on it and I focus and I'm eating well and I'm doing including some exercise, I feel better. I just feel better as a human being.
It
you know
makes
what I mean?
you feel better. So that my thing is to through even the time off, I stay on schedule. That was a hard thing to do over the course of years, but I realize on the other end of it, if you haven't done anything, you feel so horrible.
Yeah.
So getting up, that's why the notion of like athletes training during their time down, which is something that used to not be the case. They just disconnect and then come back anew and start training. To me, it's easier to do that. It's like the adjustment from having multiple days where you can get up a little bit later to today getting up at 3:30.
Right.
It's not as heavy.
I know. I feel like I've hit the new year. I hit the ground running. And in years past, I usually listen. I've only been like working out like steadily for like 4, maybe 5 years or whatever. But in years past, I would always take off between Christmas and New Year's. I would also go into like a bit of a depression from doing that, from being so inactive, and it really, really effed with my mind. But I got sick right after Camp Out for Hunger, so I ended up taking the week after Camp Out for Hunger and the week leading up to Christmas off. But I worked out every single day during the Christmas break, and it made a world of difference, especially in my mental, ability to start the new year off right.
How was the gym?
It was. All right, you talking about what I talked about last night? It's fine. Listen, it's really crowded now.
In general.
Everybody's home from school right now, so it's a ton of high school kids. Ton of college kids. I was really frustrated yesterday because I got there. I have a workout routine, and it starts with a shoulder press, and it has to start with shoulder press because it's a shoulder day, and I'm not going to have the strength to do it at the end of the workout, so I need it to be the very, very first exercise I need to do. And there was a guy who sat on the shoulder press machine for over 20 minutes.
Just give it 2 weeks and he'll be gone.
Yeah.
No. But like, and that's the part. That's the part that pissed me off the most is when I'm watching him work out. I'm like, oh, this guy's got muscles. He's not a newbie to the gym.
No, he's
he
not.
should and he's older. And he should know better. He should know better that you don't need to sit on that apparatus for over 20. Because I counted 20. And
did you go over and say,
No.
May I
Jump in here?
You know why I didn't? Because by the time I was ready to do that, I was already frustrated, and I wouldn't have gone over with the right tone.
But you know what?
And so I just didn't.
I'm proud of you for going because, like, I went to the gym on New Year's Eve on the 31st, and then I kept right on going past the gym. Casey, I drove up to it, and I looked in.
Meant to go in?
I meant to go in, and like, look, maybe it's just me being weak or undisciplined or whatever, but I also saw how packed the parking lot was.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't feel like fighting this today, and I'll start today, which hopefully I actually will. But Preston, I wanted to ask, are you at all interested, or do you think you might pursue like a dry January or a no spend January?
No.
Because I'm doing both. You're doing
dry and no spend?
At the beginning of that sentence, I said Preston. No, I'm doing both, a no spend January and dry January, and we'll see how long it lasts. But I'm gonna give it a shot.
I'm not committing to dry January, but I am going to cut back. It's going to be moist January. Damn January. I'm thinking just like I'm definitely a Friday, Saturday imbiber, and sometimes a Wednesday as well.
Yeah.
During the week.
Because that's part of the weekend.
Sometimes Wednesday.
Yeah. Sometimes Wednesday I'll have a couple cocktails. meaning
And
five.
it starts with W-E. Weekend starts with W-E.
Yeah, so
You get confused.
I'm thinking about just one day a week enjoying that side of things.
What was the parameters of binge drinking is 5 drinks?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take it right there, but you don't cross over.
Yeah, no, I don't. Five's my magic number.
That's your magic number.
It's a magic number.
I actually set my own.
5-0, it's a magic number. Yes, it is.
We had 5 drinks in our van.
I actually set my alarm most days on
Did
break.
you really?
Not super early, but it was to go to the gym. So I would get up an hour before I would need to be there. And most of the classes were like 8, 8:30, 9, 9:30. So it was not super early.
Do you feel my thing for doing that and staying on schedule that way with the exercising and everything is I can have my chocolate chip cookies. I can have my banana bread or whatever they serve. And so you get a little bit of latitude, and you can be a little more guilt free because as we've talked about many times, coming in cold to the new year, and you see people in the gym or having salads without any dressing on it. It's you're gonna fail.
Well, I'll tell you what it did. I also, because I wasn't really watching how much alcohol I was drinking. I was drinking what I wanted, but because I knew my alarm was set and I was going to the gym,
you were gonna pay for it.
What time?
I didn't drink.
That's
as
actually
much.
a good method.
I had my glasses of wine and champagne and all that, but
margaritas,
a little blow.
Now I'm into martinis.
Yeah.
Melissa, I got a pickle martini over the.
Oh, you did?
I did. It wasn't around here, so it wasn't somewhere we can go. But I was able to get a pickle martini.
Oh well, as somebody who spent her entire vacation sitting at a bar, I will ask that nobody do dry January because all of the breweries and bars out there and all of the small businesses need your business.
Yeah, I'm going to support them.
Yeah.
What time, as Casey was asking, what time did you set your alarm for?
So it was different each day. I said the classes were somewhere between 8 and 9:30, and I would just get up an hour before the class.
I literally unplugged my alarm clock.
Nick, last night I was proud of myself for not setting an alarm one time during the entire break. It was awesome.
Yeah,
when you were in your downtime, without the alarm clock, when would you wake up naturally?
I'm all over the place. My sleep patterns are so bad. There were a few nights where I got great night's sleep though, and there was one night where I went to bed at like 8:30 or 9 because it was that day where it was just gray all day and damp and like foggy and whatever. And I didn't leave the house. I didn't put shoes on. I didn't go outside once. And I was like, you know what?
Couple of those.
I'm going to go to bed early. And I felt great as a result. But last night I slept like crap, knowing that we're coming back to work today. And whatever, it's fine. It's a short work week, and I'm not trying to complain about it. It's just when we readjust, I'm glad that we can readjust with 2 days in.
Yeah.
Right.
I was waking up around 7:30 every day.
Were you?
Okay, so my alarm is set to 7. And it's always on. So even during vacation, I routinely wake up. If I'm not, I wake up at 3:30 anyway, and then I go back to sleep.
Okay.
So, which is no problem. That's the way I 9 times out of 10, I'm beating the alarm. But yeah. So you know what I found though, Preston? When I sleep longer, like when I'm not doing, my dreams become much more elaborate. Yeah. When I'm like I notice like on the weekend when I sleep a little bit later, I have really elaborate. I know you're always talking about your dreams. I had like novels written during my time sleeping, like crazy dreams.
That's pretty good.
And it's weird to have it that many days in a row.
Well, it's probably you're getting into that REM sleep. You're getting into the deeper sleep.
Yeah.
Which your body is supposed to do most of the time.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't happen enough.
Yeah.
But I can't squeeze it in the 4.5, 5 hours that I'm sleeping.
How are the holidays for you guys? Christmas and everything.
It was good. Yeah, my brother and sister-in-law came in from Southern Virginia, which was really cool, and got to spend a lot of time with my parents.
Where do they stay?
They split it. So Adam and my nephew stayed with my parents, and then Jenny and my niece stayed at a hotel. And they kind of went back and forth a couple of times. But Adam ended up staying until yesterday. I drove him to the train station yesterday morning. Our last day of sleeping in, Adam's train left at 6:30 in the morning.
Okay.
You had to take.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, so on Christmas Day, on Christmas night, I was up till like 1 because I just need to make sure that like Santa is there.
You got to make sure.
Yeah.
You don't like to go to bed before he
I
gets
just
there?
worried that like the flue wasn't left open in the chimney and stuff like that. So once I made sure that Santa was there, I went to bed at like 1. But I had to get up at 7 because we were going to my sister-in-law's for Christmas dinner, but we were making the turkey and everything. So
do you do a full Christmas breakfast as well?
Yeah, so
that's just too much. I know people.
Well, that was the other thing. So I had to make sure that the turkey got in the oven, and then we made quiche. But thankfully,
just like Jesus said,
everybody like slept in. Kids don't get up at 6 a.m. for Christmas anymore. So, we waited for my son to get up, but I think he didn't get up until maybe after 9.
Isn't it weird as your kids grow up? Now you get up before they do now, and you're like, are they going to ever get up? Are we going to do this?
You logs.
Oh, it's great.
I told you guys before the holidays, but my mom made dinner reservations because she's been a little incapacitated and whatever. So we ended up going out to dinner on Christmas night. It was a fantastic experience.
Where'd you go?
Sullivan's, which I'd never been to before, in King of Prussia. It's a steakhouse.
Yeah. Great food.
And oh my God, it was fantastic. The place, Steve, was packed. So a lot of people were working, and a lot of people just decided they were going to go out. And I don't know if it was like predominantly Jewish families or people who don't celebrate Christmas.
Did you at any point stand up and say, "Are most of you Jewish?"
No, I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, I decided that was probably not the right
Probably
way
not
to
the
go
way to
about it.
approach it. Yeah.
Hanukkah actually started on Christmas, right?
Yeah. But man, was it fun. And the food was phenomenal. And the service that we got was really, really great. So it seems like if my mom and dad are up for doing this every year, I would gladly go out. Because it took so much off of her plate and it made it easier for her. And that made me really happy.
To answer the question, you said you got a Christmas tree because she was feeling a little bit down. There's been some medical concerns in the family, and you guys have been taking care of it. But there was a question about she's very much into Christmas, but there was no Christmas tree. But you guys went out and got her one. Was she thrilled with all that?
She was, yeah.
Awesome.
And it was nice because she had a rough December, and then so Christmas itself was pretty great. And
awesome.
Yeah, and that was really cool.
I brought in something for show and tell.
Oh.
And what is
I
it?
already sent you guys a picture of this, but it's my favorite Christmas gift
dude.
this year.
It was awesome.
It was from my son, Carter. And, and
It was for your son, Carter?
It was from.
Oh, okay.
yeah, he got it for me, and I'm gonna wear this for our YouTube audience and for anybody who watches our show on video.
It's
But
great.
As soon as I open this, I'm like, oh, this is just fantastic.
He was talking about this when we were in the bus for Thanksgiving.
he?
Yes,
Did
he
he?
was was actually talking
He was
about.
telling you guys about it?
You were sitting right there.
Yeah.
He was talking
I don't
about.
remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Did he make that or did he buy that?
No. He bought it. I forgot where he got it online, but it is crocheted. It is knitted. It's a hat. It's a Viking helmet hat that's knitted, complete with the long braided beard, and it is.
It's amazing.
I wore this all day on Christmas Day, so I'm going to put this
put on.
on.
You wore it all day?
For the, yeah.
Why would you
awesome.
not?
I mean, hang on. Where do you see it?
Dude,
Oh my God.
I love
Oh, that's okay.
that's so good.
I mean, come on.
All right, so my
He found it or he made it?
He found it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
Because he does knit, right?
Yeah, he does. But
Yeah.
it's been a while since he's done that. But
Kathy, my daughter just started taking up crocheting like literally 2 weeks ago. I need her to make this.
It looks.
It's like a year and a half.
It looks legit.
it's got. I know.
It looks
right?
pretty
So I
legit.
need to
Yeah.
tighten up the beard a
Yeah,
little bit because
if-
I have a small head. I have to wear it high up for the beard.
Or stuff something in there a little bit.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is coming to Cardboard Classic.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
it
I'm
is.
definitely wearing this to Cardboard Classic.
It's
which,
so
by
good.
the way, is coming up on February 28th. That's our next big thing that we have to look
Yeah.
forward to. But the mustache and the beard,
It looks so
Everything,
good,
yeah.
dude.
isn't that great?
Wow.
So I just Carter he was just beaming all day because I'm like, I flat out told him like, you win.
Yeah.
This is my favorite gift. I hate making other people feel
Yeah.
bad that they didn't get your favorite gift, but this is my favorite gift without question. So.
What did Rochelle get you that paled in comparison?
That is a good question. I don't remember.
Wow.
Okay, clearly she didn't get any of the gifts that I recommended. I send her stuff all the time. Like, hey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you suggest?
No, well, I don't want to say because.
Well, maybe I got it and I just didn't think it was that big a deal.
Did you get a scooter for Christmas?
I know I did.
Okay. That
So
was one of those.
I didn't
things.
want anything big. I don't want any, and by that I mean expensive or size wise. I'm like, we have enough. Our house is.
You
no,
need a
I
scooter
don't-
for
You're
for
happy.
the shore.
The shore. That
You
can
want
be
the
good.
shore.
I got a birthday coming up.
Okay.
In a few weeks. I have a birthday at the end of January, so maybe that'll be what I get.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But that was a really fun gift.
Quiet, mostly with the family at home. No
Yeah,
traveling.
that was it.
And
It was-
it's the way I think it had to be because I think just about everyone, Preston, felt that this year was particularly crushed in on everything. So going from the parade, which we were honored to be a part of, was terrific.
Yep.
Into camp out after Thanksgiving, into now, obviously everyone has jobs and they're busy and they're doing all this stuff, but everyone I talked to, no matter what they were doing, felt that everything was very accelerated this year. So to be able to just take a breath
Yep.
on the holidays and relax was a huge benefit.
Dude, the most enjoyable stuff that I did in the break was just so low key. It was ridiculous. I mean, like, and you guys are gonna scoff at this, but we just, like my family, we worked on a puzzle and we played board games and things like that. I smoked some Urkel weed.
There you go.
How was it?
It's really good.
Oh, all right. I need to tell them.
It
They've
was a
been
lot of
asking.
fun.
Did you tell? Yes, you need to tell Oracle that it was a big hit.
So thank you, Jaleel, for that joint. But anyway, it was just doing these really low key things that was my favorite part. Just chilling out and staying at home. And there were days, Nick, where I never got out of my my pajamas.
I love that.
And it was just the best.
I did end up getting the most comfortable pair of pajama bottoms that my mom got me for Christmas. They were really, really good. I was wearing them last night. My wife for New Year's Day did, as she described it, she was stacking the deck for this year with a ton of superstitious things. So, for instance, she made black-eyed peas that needed to be consumed on New Year's Day. So we did that.
What is that?
What is that tradition?
Dude, pull this up. I have no idea. I just ate. I only took one bite because she was going to make a dip out of it. And
Is that new?
I don't know.
And there's also this grape thing on New Year's. Do you know about that? Like you're supposed to eat 12 grapes when the clock hits midnight?
But we had kielbasa yesterday because you're supposed to eat pork on New Year's Day.
I've heard that.
There was something about opening the front door at some point,
any of these.
and then opening the back door at like just before midnight.
Yeah, like lets out bad
West
spirits.
Africans have long considered black-eyed peas a good luck charm that warded off evil spirits, and they are often served on holidays.
Now, wait a minute. Now, Diane does not.
She's not.
impress me as an overly superstitious person.
She's not. It was definitely
Because a curse was placed on
Is
her.
this a fun thing?
Yeah, well, we had fun, and I ate well because she also made this lentil soup because you're supposed to eat lentils apparently on.
Wow.
Why is it
New
all
Year's?
beans and lentils?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Why
that
no
was
ice cream?
That's an Italian superstition.
Speaking of superstitions, Casey, I got a few messages and I'm wondering how many you got because the Eagles lost.
Yeah, it was my fault.
Okay.
That was my bad. It was
right.
my bad.
You
It
had
had nothing to
changed-
do with Devontae Smith dropping that pass that would have sealed the win. It was the fact that I didn't change.
I
just
forgot
got
what
a
happened.
I just got a pedicure.
Okay.
And I kept the same. I mean, I have my own nail polish, right? So I kept the same color, but I wasn't sure if I should do that before the Commanders game. Tyrone down the hall gave me the pass, so you guys can blame Tyrone Johnson down the hall.
So it's mostly his fault.
It's mostly his fault, but
Okay.
I have to accept some of the responsibility for that loss.
What? Why?
Because
Explain.
the Eagles had been on a massive win streak, and I hadn't gotten my nails done during that win streak. But my nails were so long that I could basically climb cliffs with them. So
That's what did it.
it's what did it. I was having a hard time putting my socks on. I mean, that's how long they were. So I did it. But we warded off the bad spirits with that one loss. We came back and destroyed the Cowboys.
Okay.
And so we're good to go.
Okay.
We're good.
And then everything that Diane has done now
Yeah,
will ensure a Super Bowl victory.
yeah, you're damn. Well, there was.
So this conga line of superstitious things was just it was a master plan, or was it happenstance?
What for Diane?
Superstitions, yeah.
No. It was a master plan.
Okay, all right.
But you wanted to do as many as possible on New Year's Day? Or when was this?
New Year's Eve going into New Year's Day. So this is all 12/31 to 1/1.
And Kathy, you
Yeah.
drank as part of tradition.
Right, I did that tradition, and I popped a bottle of champagne and finished it myself.
Wow.
Have any of you guys ever heard of this this grape tradition on New Year's
No.
before? Because
No.
this is the first year that I heard about it. You're supposed to eat 12 grapes at midnight to ring in the new year. Apparently, it's a Spanish tradition. I didn't know anything about it, but I saw a bunch of social media posts about it. And I guess it's become more popular in the U.S. over the last couple of
We
years.
should consult Hilaria Baldwin.
Marissa, hang on.
Oh yeah, Nick, I feel like that's it. It's been around for a long, long time, but I think somebody started to market it and sell like little packages.
The grape
of 12
industry.
grapes. Yeah, exactly, Steve.
The grape industry. Yeah, it's
big grape.
Big grape. Yeah. The one superstition / tradition that I've been doing for as long as I can remember is to make sure that you actually have money in your pocket when the clock strikes midnight. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or if it's a quarter, but it's for a prosperous.
I keep grapes
new
in my
year.
pocket. Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have an abundance of grapes throughout the year. So that's good on you.
We were completely low key, no grapes, no nothing, no lentils, just low key New Year's Eve, and it was awesome because I thought of all the people out who were just getting inundated. It was a complete downpour
Hang on,
for most of the evening.
I'm reading some of these. Black eyed peas is a Southern thing, it says.
Yep, that's
I mean,
what
it's
we
a
were
Southern delicacy. I don't know if it's a Southern
My wife said it was
superstition.
popular in the South. Is
Okay.
what she said.
Another one says you're supposed to walk around with an empty suitcase to ensure a year filled with many adventures. Wow, I was not aware of any New Year's Eve superstition tradition.
There's one that we do. We all gather around. We get a long straw and we blow bubbles on the toilet.
Okay.
And that is supposed to ensure good bowel movements for the rest of the year.
Dude, I do that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. The great thing was apparently on Modern Family on an episode, so maybe that's part of where.
Okay. That's where all tradition comes from.
the whole thing came
Sitcoms.
off. Well, our tradition every year was to have a this party, and we've been doing it since basically the kids have been alive.
And you didn't do it.
Our best friends. And we didn't do it. We were just, all of us were just too freaking
effing tired.
And
So
we
we
just passed on it.
For years, we would have gatherings with our Greek neighbors, and we would have the New Year's bread, which would have a dime wrapped up in wax paper.
Right. We talked about that during Connoisseur right before we left for Christmas break. Yeah. I felt really bad for my son. My son's a senior in high school, and he didn't do anything on New Year's Eve. It's his own fault because he didn't plan ahead or anything like that, and he was waiting for plans to happen on New Year's Eve. And like two different things, came and went.
It's going to be mint.
Well, I mean, listen, he ended up playing Fortnite with his friends, so
it's very different from other nights.
Yeah. Very. But I was like, dude, this is your senior year. You know what I mean? Like,
did he have any applications that were due today? College applications?
He's already done.
Okay.
Like, he's gotten into every school that he needs to get into, that he wants to get into. So
Ben had a bunch that were due today.
Oh, geez.
And then a
That
bunch
sucks.
more. Yeah, so Steve, over the holiday break, he had to fill out a lot more. And then, so some today, and then I guess the last of the deadlines for my son anyway is January 15th.
Jeez, I'm so glad. That is a distant memory, that nightmarish
It's so
filling
much.
out applications.
It's so much.
I only had like 2 schools I really wanted to go to, and I told you I got a scholarship to the school that I went to simply because of the town that I lived in. That was it.
Yeah.
They just gave
Take
me
it.
because they were building a satellite version of the college in that town, and they said, we're going to offer a scholarship if you live in that town.
Yeah.
And so that was my scholarship.
We ended up staying up till midnight. The plans were like, Shell and I it was like 9:30. We were exhausted from the night before, and we're like, I'm going to bed. But the only one at home was my oldest Parker, and like he was fired up for midnight. And we're like, oh Christ, we got to stay up.
I'm surprised he didn't go out.
And we did. No, he's not your average 24-year-old. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't. He's a solitary.
College and
No, that's
okay.
Carter.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, Carter went out and tore it up with his friends.
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
No.
So we actually popped the champagne like at 9:00 and had toasted to my wife. And I went up to bed. She went up to bed. I watched The Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm so mad at myself for that because of what I wanted to do. Because apparently at 9:29 and 32 seconds, you start Endgame. Okay. And if you do that,
Parker was telling me about that.
Tony snaps at midnight.
Yeah.
And I forgot about it until 9:59. I'm like, what time is that? And then I was like, I missed it by a half an hour.
There were a bunch of those memes going around, Casey, and you know that the ball that Aaron Judge dropped in the World Series this year?
Yes.
So somebody said if you start watching that game at a certain time, you can watch the ball drop in New York City at midnight. And it was Judge dropping the ball in the middle of the
Crazy
World
how many of
Series.
those things.
Yeah. Too. I like that, Marissa.
I had something unique because I was in Denver. They don't really have like the ball dropping out there.
Right.
Because it's all over
It's
at
already happened.
midnight New
Couple
York
hours.
time.
Yeah.
So I was actually like trying to flip through the channels
weird.
and like watch something. I was like, there's really nothing going on.
You're
It was
3
really
hours behind?
weird. 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so. Go ahead, Ben.
It's like watching we put on ABC and at 11 o'clock, and then you saw the people in Puerto Rico.
And in Holland, they've already been.
Yeah, so they do that all night long. But the drone shows and stuff they were putting on in New York.
Did you
that
see the
was cool.
Chinese? Did you see the Chinese drone show?
Freaking
The
awesome.
100,000
Oh my
drones.
God!
No, I need to see
You've
that.
got to see this goddamn thing. It was like a ring in the sky and dragons flying. And we see some amazing drone shows, but I've never seen anything like this.
Well, this was in New York. It was the countdown, like the last 10 or 30 seconds, whatever it was. It was really cool.
So I can't do that anymore because with the delay when you're watching on streaming and everything like that, the ball's dropping and it's like 12:01. You know
By
what
the
I
way,
mean?
dropping is a subjective. Yeah.
Well, I just found out too in Dewey Beach, Delaware, they dropped a crush. They like built like a huge crush and dropped it like a ball, like a pea.
Oh, like an orange crush? Is that what you mean?
Like an
Okay,
orange crush,
okay.
yeah. But kind of exciting news I wanted to share with you guys.
Oh.
So I was out in Denver because Matt and I obviously helped open up this Dewey beer in Denver. We got our liquor license.
Oh, hey! So you've been selling it illegally up to
No,
now.
I knew you were going to say that. No, so we've been doing beer the whole time. We added food, and then now we can do like Dewey crushes. And
How's it going out there?
It's great, Steve. It's great. So we were open on Christmas Day. day. So
Hey,
I
Marissa.
was literally just like Nick was just out there with people that either didn't have places to go or wanted to
That's
go
awesome.
out after family. But yeah, I was like building a whole like liquor. Like my vacation sounded like it was completely opposite of everybody else's. Right,
You
there.
actually worked.
I worked.
Is it harder to get a liquor license in Colorado than it is Pennsylvania?
It's different.
Okay.
So in Pennsylvania, you buy them, and like each town has so many liquor licenses, and we've heard that they're different prices and such. In Colorado, if you are a brewery, you have to sell so much food, and then the food allows you to get the liquor.
I've heard
license.
something that I can't
Yeah.
possibly believe, that
What's that?
locally that if you grease palms, you're more likely to get a liquor license.
Crazy, right?
That
That's
can't possibly
But
be.
there are some like ways around it. Like if you are a brewery or a distillery. Within the state, you can in Pennsylvania, you can serve liquor from other statewide places. So actually Shapiro has been behind a lot of that stuff.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody had a decent time off. It is nice to get back
It
to
is.
routine.
Yeah, to acclimate, have 2 days to acclimate. And get
Yeah, because it's 3:45 is early when my alarm goes off.
So early.
So anyhow, we do have some things looming. Cardboard Classic is the next big thing that is on the way, and we're excited about that. All the details at WMMR.com. And
It's earlier this year, yes.
yeah, February 28th. First time in February ever, I think.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. But thanks for the recap of the time off. Let's take a break, come back, and we will get our first bizarre file of 2025.
Hey.
And then shortly after that, Mr. Shaun Cassidy is going to be joining us. We're looking forward to it. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
The same across the charts.
Yep.
And I think as I'm looking through this, and we were looking at some of the things, and we were all laughing at the back, saying, "What the f does that mean?" Everyone's got their things, and that's why. It always amazes me when anybody runs for political office, because any of these things taken and put on, there are a number of things here that we're going to ask that if we're put on a front page of a paper, you'd say, what the hell? Yeah.
But we partied hard, man.
Yes,
We partied
yeah.
very, very hard. And these guys are a little nervous.
So why don't you introduce your
All right,
friends?
and before I do that, do we need to get callers on the line to play along? All right, 215-263-WMMR. Somehow or another, we're going to work this in a way to have you win prizes as well. I don't really know what's going to happen.
Let me explain.
though.
It's going to be a straight-up trivia contest. And so we're going to have people playing. You're going to play for callers online. We're not going to go to them.
Okay.
We're just going to win prizes as we cycle through so we can move some product, and that'll be happening in the background. So
All right.
everyone will get assigned. If someone gets a question right, that person wins, and then we put another person in that spot,
All right.
and that's how we'll proceed.
Before we introduce our contestant, Steve, what's the name of the game?
The name of the game is Preston, Cheston, and Steve Blast from the Ass Trivia Challenge.
Thank you, studio audience. Let's meet our contestants this morning. Contestant number one hails from St. Louis, Missouri, and he is currently a teacher who's got the summer off. It's a wonderful thing. We go way back, and yes, his name sounds like mine. We are welcoming Cheston Chet Plaguey.
Yeah!
Chet, good morning.
Thank you.
Good to have you here, sir. Good to see you.
Great to be here.
Excellent. All right, next, the guy I consider to be my best friend.
Yeah.
We go way, way back, and we've been through some times together.
We are aware of some of
I
them.
won't mention any of them now because it may be ones that are coming up in the particular contest.
I just think it's great that I have a story with Steve. I with that time that we spent down in St. Martin, and we enjoyed ourselves, and you lost your wedding ring.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun. He's
He
got
has
a
a
bag
nice
now.
new one on now.
All right, please welcome Steve Leasick.
Yay!
By the way, those of you who've heard the story about my friend Steve who threw his phone into the ocean,
That's him.
this is him.
That would be that, Steve.
That was
All
a
right.
fun one.
That was a great throw.
Yeah,
You have
well,
to admit.
it was awesome. It was a small window. You could have shattered that door.
From distance, maybe inebriated, maybe not.
Maybe not. So, friends, by the way, and just to contextualize this, these are friends at this point in time we're going to reference. But how long, does it go back to junior high and even...
Steve and I go back to junior high.
Okay.
So we probably started hanging out more in high school, but we were friends in junior high.
Oh, sure.
And then Chet didn't end up at art school until junior year, right?
Right.
Were you
Okay.
you were going to military school before that, right?
I was in military school.
Yeah. Was that by choice or did your parents
by
demand?
state decree?
It was forced.
It was forced?
Forced,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
All right, well, pleasure to meet you guys. I know Steve we met before, but good to meet you. And Cheston is Chet. That's your regular name. Okay.
And by the way, we have little placards with our names and our high school
I love it.
pictures.
Nick Murphy did
Great.
some wonderful little collections, Preston. Everyone looks fairly similar. No glasses on Steve.
No, thank God.
And a little less hair, but
No
I can
hair on me,
commiserate.
right.
Yeah, on Chet, but that's okay. That's all good to go. So we're good to go. We have our callers up. Everybody set?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right.
Yeah.
So you want to start this? Everyone has our El Cheapo buzzers.
Yeah, let's do that. So each one of us has a buzzer. This is going to be a trivia thing. So I guess we're going to buzz in when we know the answer.
Yes.
And we're going to hold these up to the microphone. I will signal mine so you know what it sounds like. All right, so that's me. And Chet, what does yours sound like? And then Steve?
Whatever.
All right. So understand that there's only so much we can know about the accuracy of the answer to this question. So we're going to play a little light and loose with the particulars here. So let's get started. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Yeah.
All right.
set.
Question number one: What aquatic school-based contest, What aquatic alcohol-based contest took place at Ben Aronson's house?
That was Preston.
That was me?
Yes.
Pool in the pig. Or pig in the pool.
All right. Please explain.
Okay, so Ben had a cutting board that was in the shape of a pig.
Yeah.
And we would actually, it floated. So we would put it in the pool and we'd play quarters on that.
It's similar, but not. Okay,
Steve?
I'm going to have to go with riding the 10-speed
Into the pool.
See, that's what I thought it was.
Steve
Off
is
the
correct.
ramp.
Steve is correct. Now, as with anything we do, it is what I have on this paper that determines
That's
the correct
fine.
answer.
Yep. And
so
listen-
it says here, riding bikes into Ben's pool with Bud Light 12-pack boxes on your heads.
On the head, remember?
And this apparently was captured on very low-definition VHS.
Yes.
And it had no brakes.
And it had no brakes. And I remember after we did that, when Ben's parents got back, what we didn't realize is we were marking up the bottom of the pool with tire tracks. And there were tracks all over the bottom of the pool.
Were these Bud Light 12-pack boxes, were they full or empty?
Oh, they were empty.
Okay.
But we fashioned them as if they were a hat. And they went, we'd put it over your head, like pull it down over your
like
face.
a protective shield.
Yeah, almost like a knight
yes.
type of a helm that you would wear. So
All right. Well, our winner is Ron on line 3, by the way, and he has won a Hand and Stone gift card, good for a free massage or facial. And you can give the gift of relaxation this Father's Day with a Hand and Stone gift card for Dad. Get $10 off 1-hour spa gift cards through June 19th, including their signature hot stone massage. Visit handandstone.com.
All right, gentlemen. Question number 2. What religious holiday did you guys observe by skipping school and going to Preston's house to smoke pot?
I remember that.
Okay, Preston.
That was Easter.
No.
We wouldn't have been at school on Easter.
I'm going to
What the
give you
hell?
an extra clue.
Damn it.
This was a jealous reaction to the Jewish kids getting so many holidays off.
Oh, Chet.
Rosh Hashanah?
No. Steve?
Hanukkah.
No. I have.
Wait. Kuala Lumpur.
It's a city in Malaysia.
Oh, damn it.
Yes, but often a holiday for many people who can't pronounce Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, no.
It is Good Friday.
I knew it was around Easter.
Yes, it was Good Friday, but as you rightly pointed out, you would not have been in school on Easter.
Who gave you the info?
This is from Hawk and Patty.
Okay.
Oh, Hawk doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right, question number 3, gentlemen. And remember, our answers are correct despite what is accurate.
Right.
Whose father made sure Hawk didn't go to jail for the senior sleep out scavenger hunt? Who's? All right, Steve.
It would be Doc Plaguey.
Incorrect.
Chet's dad? No.
No? Okay.
Whose father made sure Hawk didn't go to jail for the senior sleep out scavenger hunt?
Let's talk this out, guys. What was the senior?
Okay,
scavenger?
so somebody made a list. Might have been Skippy Marino, I think, that made a list of items that we were supposed to bring back to the school, and they included like a police officer's license plate.
Nice.
And the entire, you know how you go to a neighborhood
Yeah.
and there's a sign that says "Welcome to Old Farm Estates" or whatever.
A
Stealing
whole
that huge
sign?
thing?
That huge thing. I mean, these big.
Did you guys
items.
get them?
Of course we did.
So
Flag
this is
from Belle Reef Country Club.
Yeah.
this is the father, okay? The father who made sure that Hawk didn't go to jail.
I know it wasn't my dad. There's no way.
No.
All right, Preston.
I'm just trying to think of who was buddies with Hawk besides our family. I would say Mr. Janvrin.
Mr. Janvrin, you are all incorrect, unless I'll give one final round if you want to go for it, Chet.
I have no idea.
The name I have here, and of course the correct, despite what is accurate, Mike Freeberger.
I didn't know that.
You
Thanks,
did not
John.
know. All right.
Yeah.
This next question, I have a feeling you'll get this.
All right.
By the way, the scavenger hunt, what would have been, obviously you're stealing things that are felonies. Yeah. What,
Stealing is right.
What was the most hard to get item in the scavenger list?
I think it was probably the neighborhood sign.
neighborhood sign.
And somebody
Neighborhood
did.
And
yeah.
where'd you get the neighborhood sign from?
I didn't get it. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't. But somebody did. And by the way,
I
you had
assume
to-
that was the crime.
You had to bring all of these items to the high school and leave them there.
All right.
And then there was a huge list. And I really didn't get anything.
So
that
you were
night, I don't
bringing
think.
stolen items onto school property.
Yeah.
All right.
Senior sleep out was awesome, man. Slept in my car. Me and Howard Rosen. I remember that. I don't know if you guys were out all night for
You
that or
guys
not.
lived in you're predominantly Jewish neighborhood, right?
Well, I mean, there were a lot of Jewish students.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Question number 4. You've got 1 correct, 2 not so much. All right.
We suck at this.
Mike Kirby
Kirby.
Yeah.
drove this rather muscular mullet Preston.
Javelin.
That is correct.
Kirby, that thing was loud. And I had a Mustang. I had a 73 Mustang. It was really loud too. And we just go burnouts all the time. And
Did he get in trouble for doing spinouts in the parking lot of the school as you did?
I don't think Kirby ever got in trouble
No.
for that. No.
Interesting fact about Mike Kirby: he bought the Playboy Club in St. Louis.
Are you
What?
serious?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
It'd been
Drove a
shut,
javelin, bought the Playboy Club?
had been shut down, and I guess he bought it like back early 2000s.
Okay, so it was closed at the point he bought it?
It was closed.
All
and
right.
He bought it and turned into a teen club.
A teen. There you go.
Well, of course.
All right. So who is Preston playing for?
He was playing for Brooke, so Brooke won a Hand and Stone gift card, good for a free massage or facial. You can give the gift of relaxation this Father's Day with a Hand and Stone gift card for Dad. Get $10 off 1-hour spa gift cards through June 19th, including their signature hot stone massage.
Very nice.
Handandstone.com.
All right, question number 6. As the story goes, and listen carefully to this, a sign was put up across a door about Nan's, quote, good couch. Paraphrase what that sign forbade and to whom it was directed.
Steve.
I
You have to paraphrase.
we weren't supposed to be on the good couch.
What were you not supposed to do on the good couch?
Relationships.
We'll take that! As we have it here this
All right, thanks, Kath. Let's get into the Bizarre File for the first time this year.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, we will begin in sunny California. An unusual traffic stop by Madera, California Highway Patrol officers led to the arrest of an alleged DUI driver and the confiscation of a spider monkey as well.
A spider monkey?
Yeah, the CHP says that officers stopped a speeding Rolls-Royce Ghost Monday night. We're talking about an incredibly expensive vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely.
The driver was found to be under the influence and placed under arrest for DUI.
He's drunk.
And possession of cannabis for sale.
And he's got pot.
Officers added that he was
monkey.
also in possession of a 1-month-old spider monkey, which is illegal to own as a pet in California. The monkey was safely taken by animal control, where it will receive the proper care. The man was booked into the Madera County Jail and is facing several charges.
Was there any contextual story to the whole situation?
No, not at all. He was also charged with...
Does a Rolls-Royce Ghost come with a spider monkey when you purchase it?
It might.
Yeah.
I know it has an umbrella in the door.
We have an undercarriage protection package or a spider monkey.
So he was charged also with possession of an exotic animal. I'm going to reiterate this story. Kathy had it in the news. It's terrible. It's a news story. But emergency crews arrived to a chaotic and gruesome scene in a Honolulu neighborhood after a large New Year's fireworks tipped over and after it was lit and then ignited a huge shrapnel-studded blast that killed 3 people, injured more than 20 others, several of them critically.
Horrible.
2 women died at the scene. A 3rd woman died at the hospital. Officials promised tougher penalties for illegal fireworks. Some of the more than 20 people taken to the hospitals, by the way, had severe burns and shrapnel wounds, including children. Police were investigating whether charges for the person who lit the firework near midnight were warranted. The blast happened at a 3-story home with a bottom-level carport. So looking at the video footage, like they weren't in an expansive backyard area. They like set it off in front of the house, in the street. It's crazy in a crowded neighborhood. So the piles of debris, including bundles of blackened firework mortars, could be seen in the front of the house in Wednesday's daylight. The explosion broke windows across the street. It happened when a lit bundle of aerial mortar-style fireworks called a cake tipped over or fell off a table and fired sideways into crates containing additional fireworks, which then exploded.
Yeah, the footage is playing in the studio now, and it was... it looked like a war zone.
Yep. The cake's rounds could be separated, but had been lit as a bundle of 50, part of what officials said was tens of thousands of dollars worth of fireworks at the home. Ambulance crews had arrived, but they had to triage. I mean, like they had to decide who gets a treatment first because there were so many people. And some people nearby continued setting off fireworks after the blast was exploded. And the neighborhood is near Honolulu's International Airport and the U.S. Air Force and Navy base, and a little more than 2 miles away from the USS Arizona Memorial. A 4th person actually was killed in a different fireworks explosion elsewhere on Oahu, officials said. So there were some serious things that happened that night. Another Hawaii story, this one a little bit different. The Hawaii National Park has issued a new warning to tourists after a toddler was grabbed in the nick of time from falling off the rim of an erupting volcano.
What was a toddler doing on the rim of an erupting volcano?
The little boy wandered off from his family and a split second ran straight toward the 400-foot cliff edge of the Kilauea volcano.
Jeez.
His mother, screaming, managed to grab him just a foot or so from a fatal fall. Park Ranger Jessica Farrakane, who observed the incident, said that she hopes sharing details of the incident will help prevent further tragedies. Kilauea is one of the world's most active volcanoes. It routinely erupts, and the latest eruption began on the 23rd of December with lava pictured gushing to the surface. The eruption is continuing at a low level within a closed area of the national park. Now, the park said the incident happened on Christmas Day in a closed area of the park where families had gathered to watch the lava. It was in an area overlooking the caldera that a boy headed to the cliff, and they said he definitely would not have survived the fall. Park ranger said that they want to remind visitors to stay on trail and out of closed areas and to keep their children close as well.
Dear God.
Wow. Steve, this story is directly out of a movie you and I love, Take the Money and Run.
Oh, yes.
A Colorado man allegedly attempted to rob a bank but left with nothing after handing a note to a teller who was unable to decipher what he had written, according to police. The incident happened shortly before 5 p.m. at First National Bank in Loveland, Colorado.
I have a gub?
No, that's supposed to be gun. Police said the man walked into the bank and handed the teller a note. The teller, however, had a difficult time reading the note since it was allegedly mostly completely illegible.
I'll have to bring this to the manager.
The man allegedly grew frustrated as the teller was struggling to read the note, so he just left the bank. And
that's great.
Police are still searching for the suspect. I don't know if they'll track him down, but it remains to be seen. One last story. Okay, yeah. 2 Oregon men were found dead, and that's tragic,
That is
right?
sad.
Obviously. It was in a Washington state forest, but it was after they failed to return from a trip to look for Sasquatch. The 59-year-old and 37-year-old appeared to have died from exposure. The weather and the men's lack of preparedness led to the office to draw the conclusion.
You do not go on a Sasquatch hunt unless you are prepared.
Yeah. On Christmas.
The time when we know the Sasquatches are most active.
The 2 men were found in a heavily wooded area of the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest, which is about 150 miles northeast of Portland. A family member reported them missing around 1 a.m. on Christmas Day.
Oh, they're out hunting for Sasquatch.
After they failed to return from a Christmas Eve outing to look for Sasquatch.
Of all the days of the year, could you take a break?
60.
Or do they assume that that's when everyone else is home?
That's probably
and you're
what they're
more
thinking.
likely to not scare the Sasquatches away.
60 volunteer search and rescue personnel helped in the 3-day search, including canine, drone, and ground teams.
Don't you guys know it's Christmas?
The Coast Guard used infrared technology to search from the air as well. Authorities used camera recordings to locate the vehicle
They
used by
said
the
a
pair.
big, hairy man with large feet helped them find the bodies.
Steve, I wouldn't doubt it if it was something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for some reason, Christmas Eve to these guys,
That's
nobody's ever
nobody's
done it.
out there.
Yeah. So
Hanukkah.
that is what I have in the bizarre file.
And it's Hanukkah, too.
This morning. They used the confluence of those two holidays to,
Sasquatch hunt.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back in a moment. We will have Mr. Shaun Cassidy on the show. One of the Hardy Boys for crying out loud on the program. Stay put. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve
on 93.3.
No semen with the J.
Oh.
Can we get away with that?
No.
No jazz.
No jazz on the good couch.
Nice.
And this apparently, by my information, was directed specifically at you, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. Who was Nan? Whose house was this?
Patty's. That might have been Pat.
Whose house was this?
Sandy's.
Is it Sandy's house?
I do believe.
No jazz.
And so it was so common for you to spread your seat around the furniture that a sign had
Steve's
to go
like a
up.
fire hose, man.
The Peter North of the group?
It only hurts when I juke. So. There's another story.
Yeah, we'll tell that another time.
All right, so that's an interesting piece. I'm not going to ask another question for fear of giving away another upcoming question.
All right, so that was Erica was our winner, and she's won a pair of tickets to the Bucks County Playhouse presents The Nerd, June 23rd through July 15th. Get ready to laugh out loud at the most ridiculous comedy of the summer. For tickets, call Playhouse box office or visit buckscountyplayhouse.org.
By the way, so Sandy, the girl who this happened at, now that was an offshoot of, we went to a high school called Parkway Central, but we also had a friendship with some Catholic school girls who went to St. Joe's Academy.
Yeah.
And that was Sandy and Patty and Cindy and a whole slew of them, actually, that were over there. So it was the Catholic school girls that were afraid of the semen on the couch.
So you could no man batter on the couch.
Yep.
All right.
On Nan's
All right.
couch.
There we go. So, question number 7. Where was Preston's band The Image playing the night of Hawk's 21st birthday?
Steve.
I'm going to go Litchfield.
Litchfield, Illinois at Ken's Lounge?
Nope.
Preston? Party Town in Bonne Terre, Missouri.
No.
Wow.
Chet?
I'm going to say it's the place in Soulard Press. What's the name of that?
Yes.
The old
I just sent you the
schoolhouse.
picture of it.
Yeah, you did. It was an Irish name place. No.
No, incorrect. What we have here is ZBT House. I assume it's Zeta Beta.
Oh, my God. In
At
Columbia.
Mizzou.
That was his birthday that night?
This is from Hawk himself, so I'm assuming that's
God.
correct.
You all had the same reaction to that.
That was
Okay,
an
explain.
insane night.
There is a much deeper story.
That was a crazy
Please, you
night.
tell.
We didn't go to the party.
Uh-huh.
You were too busy fouling a couch?
We walked. Yes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
walked in and surveyed and walked out.
Wait, let me explain without saying. When you guys went in, didn't you think it was like raining inside or something like that?
There was
Or it was
funny
snowing
things.
or
The walls
something?
were kind of doing things.
We may have been delving into
Yeah.
some hallucinogenics at the time.
So you thought it was raining inside and the walls were bending?
Mushrooms were
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were hired to play at this fraternity ZBT, which they said stood for Zibong Team. They were the Jewish house.
Yeah.
The
guys
Jewish
at
house?
The Jewish house said all our answers were wrong.
Zits, butts, and tees is what I heard.
Okay, that's
Six
better.
butts and tees.
And so it was just, I mean, you're playing at a frat house. It's
Yeah.
as party as you can possibly get. And these guys were staying at a hotel room because they wanted to be there for the party because they were living in St. Louis. Columbia's a couple hours away.
All right.
And so we were waiting for them to show up, and they never showed up. Well, it turns out they tripped, and
they showed up. That was it. All right.
We got to get out of here. We have to leave right now.
I can't see my hand, man. All right. So we had no winners on that. Next question. And this was just referenced, actually. What was the nickname given to the, quote, crappy Litchfield Motel?
Okay. Now, this is going to sound terrible. All right?
All right.
But it was the Haji Inn. Am I right? Yep.
That is correct. And this is
it was called the Motel 66 Court.
Okay.
And there should have been a sign for Steve there about the jazz on the beds because a lot happened there.
Really?
Not mine.
So if you were to still
Not
bring
you.
one of those infrared lights or those blue lights,
yeah, you could ring it out.
it looked like a Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
All right, so the Haji Inn.
Yeah, so I got that one right.
All right,
All
yes.
right. Well, congratulations to Rick. Rick, you've won tickets to see JB Smoove Friday, November 17th at 9 p.m. at the venue at Valley Forge Casino Resort. Tickets on sale. That would be today at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Pre-sale began yesterday. You don't even worry about that because it's over.
All right, gentlemen.
Yes.
This one, when we actually reviewed this question, we laughed out loud at this. How did Steve earn the nickname Sterno? Preston.
You're not going to answer that? I know it. You didn't buzz in.
No, you got it.
All right. Steve used to light his farts all the time. And it was a little blue flame that would come out, and it reminded us of the Sterno that you see, which is the liquid, the canned heat that you put underneath of little banquets, chafing dishes and whatnot to heat them up. So that's how he got the nickname Sterno.
We have here by lighting farts in nylon pants, which caused them to burn away. Did that actually happen?
I don't remember that.
The old nylon shorts, we may have had malfunction here or there.
Okay, all right.
All right, but that is correct.
Thank you.
Yes.
Another winner from Preston.
All right, so that is Jim has won a Hand and Stone gift card, good for a free massage or facial, and you can give the gift of relaxation. Father's Day is on Sunday, by the way, with a Hand and Stone gift card for Dad.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, two of my closest friends are here, Steve and Chet, and the gang has come up with these trivia questions from my past that they're asking to give you some prizes this morning.
Absolutely.
So
And Nick is keeping score. Nick, where do we stand right now?
I don't know how many questions you've read, Steve, but the score right now is Preston 3, Steve 2, Cheston 0.
All right. Maybe it changes with this question. What was the name of the full-sized arcade game at Hawk and Clearman's apartment? Who got it in first?
That's me.
Yeah.
Robotron.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Robotron. Was this a full arcade game?
Yep.
I don't know that
absolutely.
game.
It's a great game.
Okay.
2 joysticks. You're the last. You're trying to save humanity from the robots, and I love it. Still play it. I have it on my arcade game at home.
Cool.
All right. Very cool.
All right, well, we've just given our winner, and our winner is Laurie, our final Hand and Stone gift card, which is good for a free massage or facial. Be sure to give the gift of relaxation this Father's Day with a Hand and Stone gift card for Dad. Get $10 off 1-hour spa gift cards through June 19th. Handandstone.com.
By the way, I just got a text from Sandy. Actually, it was at Patty's house where you weren't supposed to jazz on Nan's couch.
It was a nice couch.
Yeah. All right.
All right. We have a few more questions. And by the way, we understand that a number of your friends are listening online right now.
I
Yeah.
put out a little Facebook video.
All right,
so.
all right.
And they can watch it, too, by the way. We have the webcam up and running, so you can go to WMR.com and watch the hijinks.
All right.
All right. Question here. The night Steve slid off the road into Hunter Farm's fence, who was the girl in the front seat? All right, Steve.
That would be the aforementioned Patty.
That is correct. So explain. Sliding off the road.
Sliding off the road.
By the way, how often did we see sections of that fence missing?
Every weekend.
All the time. I mean, this thing, it was white picket fence.
Yeah.
And it was down an embankment. And you would it was no big thing to drive by and go, yep, they took out 2 sections of it again.
What,
Did you?
were
In
just
fact,
sliding?
I drove by one night. It was me and I forgot who else was in the car with me. And we saw, it was at night.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we see headlights in the woods. And we're like, there shouldn't be a car down there. And we stopped, and sure enough, there was a section of the fence taken off. This guy had blown through it, and his car went all the way down in the woods.
He was driving around the woods.
We picked him up and took him over to St. Luke's. Is that the one that was close by?
I think I was with you. Got it.
Was that you?
I think I was with you.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Was that the one you took a whole bunch of the fence from? Or was there a chain link fence?
No. Well, there was a chain link fence, and then there was another one over by, what was the park up the street on
Faust?
What?
Faust?
Yeah, Faust Park. I took out a section of that one time, too.
It
Yeah.
was Steve's brother's car, too.
It wasn't even my car, and we were just lightly snowing and just came around the corner and high fence.
Okay.
But when the one at Faust Park, when I took that out, Danny was in the backyard. Craig Schrader or in the back seat. Craig Schrader was in the front, and we're getting ready to turn into it. And Danny goes, "Press, put it low and floor it." And I did, and I spun a 180, and I took out that fence. And my dad was none too happy about that.
We've heard the story of the reaction. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
All right, well, our winner on line 6 is Jay. You've won tickets to see JB Smoove Friday, November 17th at 9 p.m. at the venue at Valley Forge Casino Resort. Tickets on sale today at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com.
All right, question number 12. What was your mutual friend Sandy's nickname, and why did she get that nickname?
It's me.
Oh, again, Preston.
Balsa.
And how did she get that name?
Because she's so skinny and light that you could just pick her up and throw her across the room with one hand.
That is right. I have here because she was too skinny to go down the water slide.
Too skinny to go down the water slide. Balsa
okay.
wood. Yeah, she was very.
I love it.
We have a winner.
All right, so William on line 8, you have won tickets to see JB Smoove Friday, November 17th at 9 p.m. at the venue at Valley Forge Casino. Tickets on sale, Ticketmaster.com at 10 a.m.
All right.
Wait, I have a quick question. So were Patty and Sandy girlfriends, or they were just in your group of friends?
They were close friends.
Okay.
Pandy and. All right, thank you very much, Kath. Marissa, where are we? 1 minute? All right, minute or so. Hang on, I've got a couple shout outs that I can do real quick here. This one is from Carly Nursing. She says, "Hey, my boyfriend's a super fan of the Preston and Steve show. It is his birthday today. When asked what he wanted for his birthday, he said, a shout out from Preston and Steve. I'd be so thankful if you could shout Chad. It says sign, maybe it's Sane. I'm not sure. S-I-N-E. His 26th birthday. Hey! So happy birthday to you, sir. And there you go. You have received your gift.
Stuck the landing.
Here's another one that says, good morning to see you. Hope you guys, it never gets old to me.
It does not get old.
Hope you guys had a wonderful holiday with your families. I want to send a big birthday shout out to my dad. His birthday was on New Year's Day. And we both love listening to you guys. And I'm sure, and I'm usually the YouTuber chat. Can I get a YouTube from Steve, please?
All right.
YouTube! Thanks again. You guys rock. Love, Trish, a.k.a. Tater Tot Kitty.
I love their names, their handles.
Tater Tot Kitty. There you
it's
go.
almost like in the era of CB radio. Remember, you'd have your
Oh my God, your handle.
Your handle.
My handle in the
What was
1970s. The white tuxedo.
The white tuxedo.
It was in the height of Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why I chose that, but I did.
The white tuxedo.
We're revealing things about ourselves.
There we
today.
go.
Our next guest is on the line. Super excited to talk to him.
Absolutely.
Speaking of the mid-1970s, was a huge fan of the Hardy Boys and all the posters on my sister's wall. And I'm going to play a little bit of music because he is going to be performing at City Winery, performing and speaking, engaging with the audience.
It's an evening with.
But those of you of a certain age will remember this. Yeah.
Somebody told me that her name was Jill. They do run.
It was a huge hit.
Monster.
Please welcome the one and only Mr. Shaun Cassidy to our show this morning. Hey, Shaun, thanks for coming on, man.
Good to be here. I tried to get to you in person.
I know, and I'm really bummed out. I texted my sister yesterday. I'm like, you will not believe who is going to be in our studio, and she was so excited and wanted me to take a picture and send it to her, but and she doesn't live in the area. Otherwise, we would come. I'd bring her to come see you.
My
Shaun,
wife is going to come by. Yeah, she would have come by.
No, true story. I mean, this all happened very last minute, obviously, but yesterday there was no way I could get in there because I have a Zoom meeting, or I had a Zoom meeting immediately after this, which I managed to cancel. So I got ready. I went to the gym early this morning. I was listening to you guys on the radio, and I called for the car. I were at a hotel. I called for the car. your car will be here in 45 minutes.
Oh.
I'm like, all right, back to Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all good though, man. But no, listen, this is cool because, like I said, in the intro, back in the day, the Hardy Boys was a very popular show. I loved it. It was right in the heart of what my entertainment, value, what I wanted,
what your pop culture realm.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that was just a couple of seasons of that, right, Shaun?
Yeah, it was like 2.5, which was like, in those days, like 108 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't remember that, but you'd have 35, 36 episodes per season. Now we get, 6 or 8 in the more limited run. But doing research on you, Shaun, and the continuing friendship you have with Parker Stevenson and apparently Pamela Sue Martin as well. It's very nice to hear that that's the case because it was a phenomenon. You had the Hardy Boys and the Nancy Drew Mysteries. And it really kind of took the nation by storm.
Yeah, it was really fun. Good job out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when you started on that show?
Just 18. I auditioned, I think, when I was 17.
Oh, my goodness.
You signed a record deal while you were in high school, correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean, that's
perfectly normal youth.
The thing is, though, you had your brother, David Cassidy, and any sort of interviews with you, anything that you can get that pertains to you. First off, you had your mom, Shirley Jones, who is legendary, and apparently a very even keel and level headed person. But you had the example of your brother, who kind of went through it all before you. And it helped shape the way you approached all the fame and sudden notoriety, correct?
For sure. I mean, also my father had been a big Broadway star. He was a Tony Award winner. And having watched my mom and dad and then David deal with, the highs and lows, the good and the bad of all of the stuff that comes along with success in showbiz, I got to go to kind of like, graduate school on how to manage it, I think.
Go ahead.
It served me well. I mean, I think I'm here talking to you because of that.
Well, with that, you have the Hardy Boys, and then you obviously, you had a good run. You had the albums Born Late, Under Wraps, Room Service, and then That's Rock and Roll, and Hey Deanie, and you had hits, and you were on a good tear. But I think I was reading an interview with your mother, and she said you always were kind of an old soul, and you could even perceive your career as, okay, I'm doing this now, but what am I going to do after that? Is that the way you've always approached things?
Yeah, I talk about this a bit in my show. I have a very strange resume. I mean, I had a very big opening act of the hit records and the television show, and my last concert was in 1980 at the Astrodome for 55,000 people. And I said,
wow.
Good night, see you soon. And then I didn't do another live show for 40 years.
Wow.
I started doing a variation of the show I'm doing now in like 2020. But in the interim, I've been a writer, producer in television, worked on a lot of television shows. But to your question, even as I was playing the Astrodome, opening the Grammy Awards, I mean, doing a lot of stuff, I was like, I'm not really sure I want to do this for the next 40 years. I really enjoyed it. It was fun, but I'm kind of an introvert by nature. And even on the Hardy Boys, I was more drawn to the writer's room than I was to hanging out with all the actors. And I ended up writing, and I love writing, and I still do. But now that, I've had that whole career on the other side of things, to be able to come back and greet an audience that I haven't seen in a long time and kind of interface with them in a way I never could at any of the arenas I played back in the day, because it was, like a scream fest.
Yeah. Listen, speaking of that, I mean, and for somebody who's an introvert, it must have been overwhelming because, like I said, the posters on my sister's wall. I mean, at that time, the teen rags, the Tiger Beat and 16 and all of these were just, you'd go to a magazine rack and they were all over the place, and your faces plastered all over those and it must have been overwhelming possibly for you, like too much, do you think, when you were getting that kind of attention?
Yeah, honestly, it was scary. But again, I think because I'd seen David go through it, and to a lesser extent or a different extent, I'd seen my mom and dad, and there's a story I tell in our show. I did open the Grammy Awards. I was Beyonce.
Yeah.
My date to the show that night was Carrie Fisher, who was a good friend and neighbor, lived down the street. And Carrie was a few years older than I was, but we were good pals. And she had just opened in this little movie called Star Wars. And I had, #1 record and hit TV shows. So we were a very popular couple that night. And a lot of attention and a lot of people, wanting something. And on the way home in the car, she turned and looked at me and said, "How are we going to get through this?" And I'd already been thinking about that. And I was thinking the way you get through it is to step away from it and not be Elvis and not die at 42.
That's fascinating because Carrie Fisher went on to write and punch up scripts and postcards from the Edge. And she used that same tool that you have used to go in a creative direction that was more, and she said, and obviously she's passed since, but in interviews that I've read with her, that was her salvation, being able to express and create stories, and that was what helped her. I have to imagine 55,000 people last show. Hollywood is legendary for, here's somebody who can make us money. We want more and more and more. People must have been clawing at you saying, what are you doing? It must have been, the pressure from that side must have been almost insurmountable.
Well, there was a lot of pressure from the other people who make money as a result of what you're doing.
Yeah.
For sure. But again, when I was at the Astrodome, I didn't know that was the last concert I'd be doing for 4 decades. I just thought I'll go on. And I went on to do another short-lived series called Breaking Away that was based on the movie. And then I made this album that was pretty radical at the time with Todd Rundgren called Wasp, which sold about 8 copies, but it was like, it was kind of a declaration of independence for me musically. And I decided I wanted to just do other things. So I spent about really most of the 80s working in the theater and little plays that hardly anyone saw and learning how to write. So when I sold my first pilot, which was a show called American Gothic in 94 or 5, I'd already been out of it for quite a while. And that was good. It was healthy for me.
So I remember the series was one season. It is a cult favorite. People love that series. In a time where things are revisited and they end up, getting a second chance, have you taken the idea out of perhaps reintroducing that or taking another swing at it?
I think about it all the time. I love the show. I had a great experience on the show. Gary Cole was remarkable in the lead. Lucas Black, who's a little boy, just come off the movie Sling Blade.
Yeah.
I think Sarah Paulson's first regular job on a series. So it had a great cast. And it was really exciting. And I have a deal still at Universal where I made that show 30 years ago. And we talked about it. We'll see.
Do you think people were surprised? Because I remember the show as being dark and twisted, and that's what people gravitated towards. But to hear that this was coming from Shaun Cassidy, that had to be, was it hard to convince people you had this sort of David Lynchian side to you?
Well, all you have to do is show someone a script. If honestly, I think the fact that people perceived me one way, and then they read the script that was a very different road, I think that made the project more alluring. Because honestly, the show was about darkness and light. It was about good and evil. And how people, I think the healthiest people kind of, what is the expression? No man has a shadow unless he's walking in the light, right? So that was sort of what the dance of the show was about. And
it's funny you mentioned that because we just, obviously New Year's, they do the Twilight Zone marathon, and we were watching, my wife and I were watching episodes, and to what you're saying, I could always tell, they had incredible writers on that show, from Richard Matheson to countless others, but I could always tell the Serling scripts because they talked about that dynamic that you just talked about. They'd often involve some of the most horrific notions, but buttressed against the promise and hope for what people could do.
For sure. And I mean, that's why kids are drawn to fairy tales. We all have that idea, that knowledge that darkness is out there. And we're trying to kind of put that together and balance it with what, hopefully the road we all want to take, which is a good one. But kids are drawn to fairy tales because they need to work that stuff out. And if you look at literally the grim fairy tales or the early Disney films. They're dark.
Yeah.
Dark. But they have uplift. At the end of the road.
Speaking of kids, Shaun, if I read this correctly, you have 8 children?
Well, I've raised 8. I biologically have contributed to 7. Yeah.
Biologically contributed.
I like that.
But now everyone who's reading other interviews with people who know you and know you well say fatherhood is something that you just adore.
I do. Look, my whole life has been, I don't come from a stable background. I mean, show business is not a model of stability. So I longed for that. And I've been married more than once. I had a couple of practice tries. But I got it right about 21 years ago, and I'm happily married, and I have an extraordinary wife and partner, and we have 4 kids, 3 of whom are still at home. And I have 3 older kids who are out in the world, and Thanksgiving is literally the happiest day of the year for me because I have so much gratitude that I have these wonderful human beings that I've been able to share part of my life with.
With that many kids growing up, did any of them show an inclination towards the arts, or more specifically acting or singing?
It's funny, the younger ones, none, not at all. I have a 25-year-old daughter who wants to be a writer-director. She's currently an actor and sort of getting, her feet wet there. My younger kids, though, well, actually, even the older kids, I'd stopped performing by the time they were all born.
Mm-hmm.
So they've known me as a guy who goes to an office every day and comes home. So when I started doing this in 2020, it was like, Dad is clearly having a nervous breakdown. What do you mean you're going singing on a stage?
Oh, that's great.
Singing songs they've never heard of.
Uh-huh.
And why would anyone come?
That is so funny because we talk about we perceive it. It's always something that we're dragging behind us, the memories of the decades as they pass. But to them, this man is out of his mind.
Totally. But it literally would be like your dad going, hey, I think after 40 years of working at the insurance company, I'm going to start singing now.
Uh-huh.
What? Dad's going to be a rock star?
Well, I think, you know what, though? And with this show, am I correct to say that Unwrapped is more like it's sort of an evening with music, stories, and so on and so forth, and all of that. The reviews have been great for it. You got to a place creatively where you said, I'm going to dip my toes back in this water for a little bit, and you can appreciate. We talk to so many artists who had their heyday, and now you're still in it as a writer, producer, and all of that going on. But this is an aspect of your career that you could sort of look back and say, I'm gonna pluck out the things I really enjoyed and present it to people in a more intimate setting. Is it really cathartic for you?
It's been great. It's been more fun, honestly, than my first go round. Because, and for years, when I was working in television and not pursuing anything as a performer at all, I would get offers to go play Vegas or do something here or there. And I didn't do it because honestly, not that I didn't miss singing, I did, and miss an audience, but I couldn't get my head around how can I do this in a way that feels authentic to who I am now. I didn't want to go out and try and replicate and pretend I'm 21. I'm not. And, satin pants may have looked good on me then. They wouldn't have, but what happened was somebody said to me, dude, you're a storyteller. That's your job. Your job for 30 years has been telling stories. You can go out and tell stories and it'll be absolutely authentic to who you are and sing songs that people may know and maybe sing some new songs. And in this case, sing some holiday songs and weave it together in a story, in a narrative that actually maybe presents the songs in a context that would be unexpected to the audience. So they come away with something new.
That's great.
It's a nostalgia night. And the first show I did was in 2020. It's a different show that I'm doing now. This came together very, very fast. I got an offer to do this like 2 weeks ago, and I wasn't planning on touring at all this year. I may go out at the end of next year, but I thought, after spending a year working on this very meticulously crafted show, I thought, what if I just go out and pretend I'm in my living room with friends and see what happens?
Yeah, all right. That could be fun.
Great.
If you're just tuning in, it's Shaun Cassidy who's joining us, and he is going to be performing at City Winery tonight, by the way. The show is at 7:30. Have you ever, Shaun, your brother obviously had a very successful music career as well, on top of being, an actor, but he had some really great music. Do you play or have you played any of his hits as well, or is that you'd rather not touch that?
Well, David and I did a show on Broadway together called Blood Brothers for over a year and a half, and I sing a song. My nephew is in the show with me, my brother Patrick's son, and I sing a song that David and I sang together, and I tell a story. I tell more than one story about David. I don't sing any of his hits or the Partridge Family hits because I kind of feel like that's his.
Yeah.
I might at some point, maybe, but I sing a song that my mother suggested I sing in this show. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, well, what is that?
Well, it's a Christmas song. And again, one of the weird things about this is like a little mini run of shows just for over the holiday, which is now past. But as my mother said, hey, it's 12 days of Christmas. It goes from December 24th.
She's right.
January 6th. You can sing a Christmas song on January 2nd. So, folks, Christmas ain't over yet.
She's completely right. As a Partridge Family fan, and I've mentioned it many times on air, I had a massive crush on your mother. And then I grew to have deep respect for your mother because learning about her and your Jack Cassidy was a force of nature and was somebody that, she obviously, he admitted in his life and things I've read about him that he could be a handful. But the way she seemed to keep, both you and your brother grounded at some level is a hard thing to do, especially against the backdrop of Hollywood. I mean, was there a certain point, or did you always wonder at her ability to keep things in perspective that way?
My mom is really interesting. She's remarkably grounded as a person. If you met her, you would have no idea, if you didn't know who she was, that she had been a movie star. She won an Academy Award when she was 25.
Elmer Gantry, right?
Elmer Gantry, and she was plucked out of nowhere by Rodgers and Hammerstein to star in Oklahoma when she was 18, and just kind of had a whole career and sang for 9 presidents and has been famous for a very, very, very long time. But to meet her, she's a small town girl from Pennsylvania. Yeah. She's from Smithton, which is a little town. Jones Brewing Company was her family. They made Stoney's beer, which is still out there in Pennsylvania. And she is the same little country kid that she has always been. And I watched her as a little boy growing up, and I saw how people treated her, and I saw how she treated them, and she was a great example. But she was very attracted to crazy men. And my father was definitely nuts in his way, and her second husband, Marty Ingalls, was even more nuts in his way. So I think she lived vicariously through the insanity of others.
Yeah, reading.
Not a terrorist, but she supported terrorism.
Well, reading about in the way she, even with Marty Ingalls, she apparently said, "Okay, I'm going to have this relationship with you, but my sons are off limits." Correct?
Yeah, I don't know that he abided by that contract. Yeah, that was the idea. I mean, it was complicated. My mom is complicated.
Yeah.
And by the way, my mother has a dark side. Stephen King is her favorite author. So she's, if I have a dark side, it's from her.
That's great.
But she projects so much light and positivity. Honestly, I think it's sort of the root of why she's a healthy person.
It was wild to see her do that. I think it's Grandma's Boy, or it's kind of a raunchy video game comedy, and she's a MILF, if not a GILF, in it, and it was hilarious to see her do that. Do you kind of ruminate over the potential of putting her in something that's career redefining?
Well, she's 90 now.
Yeah.
She's in great health, but she has no desire to work at all, and I support that. I have worked with her before. I had a show on USA back in 2001 called Cover Me that Melora Hardin was in, and Michael Angarano, who's a rising star now as a young actor, young man. He was a little boy in the show, but my mom was on it, and she played a villain. And written the part for her, and she was great.
It's awesome.
Shaun, what's coming up in the world of writing for television? Is that any irons in the fire?
Yeah, I have many. I'm overseeing 3 pilots right now, one of which I'm writing and 2 of which other writers have written, and all or none of them may see the light of day.
I was going to ask, man, how many do you think you've gone through that have never gone on to be fruitful, because the world is littered with shows that get started and they make the pilot and then they don't go anywhere.
It's a great question, and I honestly would not have known the answer until last week, because I'm working on a project, and the person I'm working with asked me, how many pilots have you written over and I had no idea, and my assistant went to IMDb and did a whole research thing. I've written 43 pilots since I started, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And of those 43, about 12 have gone to series. I have a lot of critically acclaimed and short-lived series on my resume, cult hits, which is code for canceled quickly.
Yeah.
And of the 43, another 12 were probably shot as pilots, and then didn't go to series. And the other 12 or whatever were just scripts that were like, yeah, thanks, we don't want this now. But that's the game. And you can't really be invested in outcome or you go crazy. And it drives my wife crazy. Like, I'll spend, 2 months writing a pilot or whatever, or developing a show, and it won't go forward. And she'll go, oh my God, what a waste of time. And I'm like, no, that was great. It was a great process. I had fun. I learned a lot. I got to, and if it ends up on TV, awesome. But that's a whole other job if it ends up on TV. That's no longer me sitting in a room dreaming. That's actually management. And producing is a very different job than writing. You're dealing with a lot of fear management. You're dealing with managing a lot of money. And you're dealing with egos and careers, executives who may or may not rise or fall depending on the success of the show, and actors who can be their own challenge.
Yeah. Writing seems to me, especially at the level that you do it, and as prolific as you are, learning about your IMDb account, when you're writing, you have to be sort of a chameleon, and you wrote on New Amsterdam and produced as well. When you're writing medical drama stuff, do you just turn it over to someone and say, give me the medical mumbo jumbo, or do you yourself jump in and learn how to perform an effective tracheotomy?
I did one in the lobby on the way up here. I'm not sure it was effective. I know a little mumbo. I don't know the mumbo jumbo.
Okay.
So there's always at least one consultant, whatever. One of the things I love about writing is you get to dive into worlds you don't know anything about. I didn't go to medical school, but a friend of mine, David Schulner, who created New Amsterdam and who asked me to write and produce it with him and others, wisely hired a former doctor as one of our writers, a guy named David Foster, who had been on House for a long time, who started as a consultant, was a doctor, and actually became a writer. But we would hand a lot of we set up the drama, we set up the conflict, and when the actual heart surgery happens, we hand Foster, and he does the specifics of it and fills in the gaps. Yeah.
Hey, Shaun, I just thought of this with as many pilots as you have written, and I've never really thought about this, but is there a way to make money of almost getting a show on TV, or was it all just,
Oh, no. My whole job is that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I have had what they call an overall deal pretty much for 30 years, which is where you're basically signed by a studio or a network or a streamer, and you're exclusively in-house for them. They basically are writing you a weekly check to see all your ideas and have everything pitched. And should a show come out of you, that's a big bonus. But if not, if you're getting shows on, or even if you're getting pilots sold, you're doing better than 95% of the people.
Okay. But there are some people who do it kind of a la carte. They'll try to knock this one out and hand it over and see if they can get something from it.
Yeah, I would think that's probably most people. But after you run a few shows, if you're fortunate, And I've been very, very fortunate.
Let me ask you this question because I think you're uniquely equipped to answer it. And I've heard this pop up. I'm a big fan of Turner Classic Movies and old films and just in general, overall, a cinephile kind of. And in the old days, you had the studio system and you had sort of this AAA thing going on and you had this development and these artists and so on and so forth. And there were problems with it, but it also seemed to generate some incredibly great stuff. Do you think that there's a room for that kind of system these days, or will we ever be able to get to something like that? Or is that even something we should get to?
Oh, I don't know. My mom was around in the last days of the studio system. It sort of died in the 50s and into the 60s, where they had people under contract. They do have writers under contract. I am currently under contract at NBC Universal, but I don't know. I honestly don't know, because I think that the freedom to be able to work with a lot of different people and places is great. The studio system, and they called it a system, was about developing talent. You know, they'd sign young people who weren't necessarily ready for their close-up. And, they'd groom them in good and bad ways. Ask Judy Garland.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a wash.
It probably is a wash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shaun, I had this question. This is from somebody who texted in. I have no idea if this is true or not. It says, hey, guys, one of my best friends went to school with Shaun Cassidy up in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Brett Harrison was his name. Did you go to school in New Hope?
I did. I went to a boarding school there for a semester when I was a sophomore in high school. My parents, we then lived in Beverly Hills, and they thought that Beverly Hills might be too fast for me.
Yeah.
So they sent me off to a boarding school that my father, I think, had seen a brochure on from like 1940, and it looked very Norman Rockwellian to him.
Wasn't the new school, was it?
Experience there.
Soulberry.
And honestly, I used to, I ditched probably more than I went to the school. I'd get on the train in Trenton without a nickel in my pocket. I would hide in the bathroom. I would get into Penn Station, get off, and go to Max's Kansas City, CBGB at 15.
What?
True story. I remember seeing Kiss at a club in Queens called the Coventry. And Debbie Harry was a waitress at Max's back in the day.
Wow.
And this was what I was running around doing. I'm lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I'd go back to school and sometimes I wouldn't.
Wow.
And when my parents found out, obviously it was the end of boarding school. Suddenly Beverly Hills seemed like
Wasn't that the point in time in which Debbie Harry apparently got into the car with Ted Bundy?
Ted Bundy.
Yeah. She tells that in her biography.
I don't know.
You could have gotten a lift from Ted Bundy at that time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That's pretty wild. So you don't remember Brett Harrison then, I guess, the guy from...
the name is familiar.
Okay.
Hello, Brett.
You might know him as Ted Bundy.
But that's pretty wild. Yeah, so you were slipping off and zipping up to New York just by yourself. No, you didn't grab a buddy to go along with you?
No.
That's adventurous.
That's ballsy.
I had some friends, and honestly, when I first went, I would like knock on the door of like my dad's like actor friends. Hey, can I stay here tonight? John McMartin was a good pal of my dad's. He'd starred in the movie Sweet Charity with Shirley MacLaine, and he was like an uncle, and and then I actually made friends. I had a girlfriend for a while there, and I'd stay with them. But 15.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, how were you? I assume you needed, I don't know what it was back then, but did you need an ID to get into CBGB at 16 years old? No?
No, I don't know. Maybe I had a fake one. I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember. And I'm not sure if, Max's for sure was that time. CBGB might have been a little bit later. I saw the Ramones there more than once, though.
Damn.
And I remember going to this place called the 82 Club, which I think was like a transvestite bar or something, at like 4 a.m, and I met David Bowie there.
Oh, wow.
And he invited me to go see Brian Ferry and Roxy Music at the Palladium, I think. And somewhere there's a picture where I am literally like 15 years old with David Bowie and Brian Ferry.
That's crazy.
And
I'm like, I hope my parent goes like in a magazine.
and this
I'm
was
not known. I mean, nobody knows who I am.
Yeah, I was going to say this was pre Shaun Cassidy in the spotlight.
Yeah. I'm just a kid running around.
That must have been amazing.
It was. Again, lucky to be alive. But people always ask me, like, God, what must have been so crazy when having all the hit records? And I'm like thinking, actually, the crazier part was between like 14 to 18. Because once I was 18 and I had a job and I was like making money and I'm living on my own, my life kind of normalized.
Yeah. In fact, in a way, it saved you.
I think it did.
Yeah.
I think it did.
Wow. Well, clearly you have some amazing stories to share. Have you ever, as being a writer, have you written down these stories? Have you written a book about your life and times?
I have not. People have asked me to do that. I've written a lot about my life in disguise, in characters and shows. I haven't written a memoir or anything. I might. I mean, we'll see. It's a lot. I've thought about it, and whatever I end up writing, it'll be emotional, and it'll be a lot of stuff I want to look at, and probably stuff I don't want to look at.
Right.
And right now, I'm happy writing scripts, and I'm really happy doing these live shows, and I hope to do more of these.
These, I think, are home runs, and then people have seen the various iterations of your performances, as you can see at the City Winery, just rave about them. And as to the idea of the autobiography, I think just to find out if they're in fact tumbleweeds of hair on the set of the Hardy Boys
from Parker
Stevenson and you would just be a wonderful story to hear. But yeah, people love this, and they love seeing you, and you clearly love helping people get nostalgic and give some insight into your career. So it's a win-win all the way around, and your mom's right about the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
Well, good. I remind the audience of that when they go, why is he singing that Christmas song? I just for a second.
Well, the show is tonight at 7:30 at City Winery. But it's such great story, Shaun. It's wonderful to meet you and have this chat, and we hope you'll be back around in Philadelphia down the road. And we'll send a driver over to get you. We'll make sure somebody gets you into the studio next
awesome.
time.
And I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you in person. And any wives that want a picture or an autograph or something, happy to help.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, please come back to town. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. Shaun Cassidy, everyone. Take care, man. And have a great show tonight. Wow, man. Come on.
I find it wild that he worked with, I remember that album, that Wasp, I think it was the name of it. And
with Todd Rundgren?
To work with Todd Rundgren, to come from where he was.
Yeah.
And Todd Rundgren has always been Mr. Experimental, Mr. Has worked with a number of artists who wanted to have him produce them.
And he's kind of a wild guy.
Yeah.
That must have been an interesting pairing. That's the stories about him as a teenager. And I'm glad, thank you, Texter, who sent that in about him going to school in the New Hope area, because that was some great stuff. So
I mean, there's that part alone of being 15 and that going in by yourself to CBGB and seeing all those artists and hanging out
with David Bowie at that time.
His dad, Jack Cassidy, passed away. He's 49, and he was smoking in bed or fell asleep, and the apartment set on fire and so on and so forth. But his dad was very connected to a lot. That's where he could talk about. He could go into the city,
right,
and
find people,
because both his mom and his dad were very much revered in the entertainment business.
Yeah, and they did have there was a dark past with that and David and all that stuff. But
always liked always saw him, and I'm sure you felt the same way, as a level-headed,
he held it together,
self-deprecating guy. Yeah.
Wow, that was great, man.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, well, let's take a break. We'll come back in a moment or two. We have more people to chat with. We got the Philadelphia Auto Show coming up a week from now. I'll get you all the details on that when we return in. More Stay Put. We'll be right back.
Preston and Steve.
This is delightful Panda Bear.
Patty, Sandy, and Cindy were really, really, really close friends.
Okay. So these were the girls that would do your homework.
No. These were the girls at the Catholic school.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now,
Catholic school
some
girls.
other chick I dated when I was a junior.
All right. We have occasionally heard stories of the Naked River float. What was the name of the float trip company that inadvertently ran it? The float trip company.
That was on the Who's On, wasn't it? Oh, chat.
Was it the Preston and Cheston Rock and Roll Float down the river?
No. It's the actual legitimate name.
That did happen. Yeah.
I like that answer, though.
Wow, the company that did it.
Who came
I
up with
think,
that
Preston,
question?
you were actually kind of in the realm.
It was on the Huzzah, if I remember.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
That one was. Or was it the current river?
It was the current because we went down to Salem.
They have so many rivers.
Our answer here,
Yeah.
Steve, you want to take a crack at it?
No.
It is, we have Huzzah Valley.
It was the Huzzah River for that one.
All right, no winners on that one, Preston. You were sorted there, but didn't,
I didn't
wrap
get
it
it.
up. All right. That was the one where you took, it eventually became a nude fest, right?
Oh, yeah. We were all of us. And there was probably 25 of us.
Yes.
Yeah, we all ended up completely naked. Listen, we took whiskey with us.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a float that would take 6 hours, 7 hours, something like that, maybe longer. And you're just getting bombed the whole time, just drinking the whole time.
It's a wonder no one died.
So we decided that the last mile of the float that we would get completely naked. And we're going by like families and stuff out there with the kids. Hey, how you guys doing? And we were just lit. It was awesome. And I have pictures.
Do you? Oh.
I have lots of pictures of us completely and we were jumping off of cliffs naked.
Naked as well. With women, with girls as well.
Yeah,
okay.
totally.
All right. Gentlemen, what was the very unradio-friendly nickname of Steve's car? Please paraphrase. Steve.
See you next Tuesday?
Yeah, yes. Steve is correct.
Nice. Which car was that?
Yeah.
That was the white Datsun 510.
Yeah.
Overheated all the time.
And that's why it earned that name?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because of the overheating issue. All right, so we have Steve, who's the winner.
All right, so Steve was playing for Kale, and Kale, you've won a pair of tickets to see the Bucks County Playhouse presents The Nerd, June 23rd through July 15th. And you can go get tickets through Playhouse box office or buckscountyplayhouse.org.
What a great name for a car, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to pick you up in the sea. That's great.
3 more questions here.
I don't want this to be over.
Well, it's we went with the ones that we thought would have stories attached
That's
to them.
cool.
Which of Chet's nicknames is also an aromatic North American plant of the daisy family? Which of Chet's nicknames is also an aromatic North American plant of the daisy family?
Now, we got to get this. Hang on a second here.
I don't even know.
Daisy.
It's a pretty elaborate nickname.
It is.
It is, but it isn't.
Oh!
Preston.
Tumbleweed.
No.
No?
No.
No. I remember.
Preston.
Sagebrush.
Yes!
I don't even remember how we got that. Do you? Chet?
I know. I remember, but I don't remember.
Okay. You remember it was your name, but you don't know how you
Sagebrush.
earned it.
Yeah.
Sagebrush.
No, I have no idea.
Sagebrush.
Chet, that was your one chance to get one right.
I pretty much suck at this.
All right.
All right, well, Jeremy on line 1, real quick, you've won a case of Yards Brewing Pale Ale. The best beer for summer barbecues, beach days, and tailgates is Yards Brewing Philadelphia Pale Ale. Drink local, brew into others with a Philly Pale Ale at Keg and Kitchen in Westmont, New Jersey.
All right, 2 more
gotta
questions.
You got to leave. Casey's got to go. Santa's got to go.
Yeah, Santa's got to go.
All right. Good luck with your endeavors.
With your Lyme disease.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
So
that's
you
me.
want me to? I'll handle the rest of this.
Yeah.
All right.
Let me just do this.
Yeah. Give me some music here. Thank you. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, final 2 questions. Name the prestigious golf club often snuck onto by Chet and sometimes Hawk in observance of, all right?
Old Warson.
All right.
Steve.
Belle Reve.
That is correct. Yes! Wow. The Belle Reve Country Club I have listed here.
The story was about you, and you didn't get the answer.
That's right.
That's par for the course.
He clearly
Yes.
doesn't remember too much.
I'm
All right. So, Steve, we have a winner for Steve. And what do we have? Marissa, who's now taking over the chores.
So the winner is who was
Jared on Max. Was that Jared who won?
just now?
I'm not listening. I'm not wearing any headphones, so I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
All right. No
Yes.
problem.
Yep.
All right. JB Smoove is coming Fridays, November 17th to the venue at Valley Forge Casino. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
All right.
How many
Steven,
more?
I'm sorry. It all comes down to this last question because
we had a tie, Nick.
No, it is right now. Preston's leading by 1.
All right.
Over Steve. Chet, this answer is worth 7 points. No, I'm just kidding.
We do have a tiebreaker if necessary.
Okay.
Chet,
Right.
what is your real name?
What is your current occupation? Who bought the Playboy Club? All right, question number 17.
Well, you should get a bonus point for
That's
that.
right. What was the name of the bouncer at the party town in Bonne Terre?
Oh, my
The name of the bouncer at the party town in Bonne Terre.
That's a Patty question.
Yeah.
I can give you a hint.
Our band used to play there. Okay, you can give a hint?
Name of a movie that involved a man with a rat fascination. Preston.
Is it Ben?
No.
Oh.
Willard.
Yes, Dave, got her.
I never would have known that.
Willard.
Man, Party Town was the biggest crap hole in the world. In Bonne Terre, which is just in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. The big thing they have there is a mine that's flooded, and you can go dive in it.
Oh, cool.
So it's the crap hole of the crap hole.
Oh my God! But for some reason they loved us there, and we used to like going to play there. And these guys would come and go along with us. We'd end up getting a hotel room or something that night, or just be dumbasses and drive home from this all night party fest. And it was just, redneck galore, or as they call them in Missouri. Hoosiers.
Hoosiers, yes.
And it was just, but we'd have a ball. We'd just drink our faces off and just get stupid.
And they had one of those cave pool situations.
It's a mine.
A mine that
they flooded. In fact, Jacques Cousteau dove it at one point.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
It was kind of a big deal.
All right, so where does that leave us now? Nick?
Tiebreaker.
Yeah, we are all tied up. Preston has 6 and Steve has 6.
Oh, hold on a second here.
And our last winner right there was Brian, who was playing for Steve, and he has won a case of Yards Brewing Philly Pale Ale. The best beer for easy summer drinking is Yards Brewing Philly Pale Ale, brewed right here in our backyard. Bring on the warm weather with Philly Pale Ale at Wild Wing Cafe in Barrington, New Jersey.
All right, tiebreaker. This is just me and Steve.
Tiebreaker, yep.
Sorry, Chet, you can't get another one right.
Sorry, Chet. Maybe 30 years from now you'll figure it out.
And this is going to involve being the quickest on the buzzer. This one is sort of obvious, so get your fingers ready. Name the hotel where Preston and Rochelle got married. Steve.
Married?
Or the reception.
Stratford Inn.
Yes.
Preston.
How did you
Sorry,
not
dude.
get that?
Your wife is here.
I didn't book it. She booked it. I don't know. I know where it is.
Yes, it is the Stratford Inn is what we have here. Yes.
So
Sorry.
Steve is the
That
winner.
means Steve is the winner.
God.
And who won? With Steve.
That was Tom. Drink local, brew unto others with Yards Philly Pale Ale at Bobby Ray's Pennsauken Tavern in Pennsauken Township.
All
Wow.
right, yeah.
Lisick wins. That's huge, man. Nice job, dude.
Thank you very
It
much.
got very competitive, and Chet, I hope you enjoyed watching.
The Stratford Inn.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for that later on. My wife is staring
No,
at me
now
right
you just
She's
can't be
here.
mad at her for not making dinner reservations.
Did she tell you that?
Yes, and listen, there's a beautiful restaurant in Skippack called Park Bistro. If they happen to have a table open for 7 tonight,
Yeah.
you guys would take it.
That's right. We sure would, wouldn't we?
Yes.
All right. Anyhow. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yes,
That
there
was
you go.
cool,
Did you like
man.
that? Was
That
that
was a great
cool?
time.
You
Yeah.
guys were very
That was
competitive,
fun.
except
Thank
for
you.
Chet, but it was all very good.
Most definitely.
We're
And to
on
be
the tip of
honest,
my tongue. I was so close on so many.
to be honest, and these guys, we were talking about it last night. They were not looking forward to this for fear of what might be revealed this morning. But you guys could have done a lot worse. I'll tell you that.
No,
right?
we knew what to stay away from.
That's
Yeah,
what I figured. But that was a nice little walk down memory lane.
Very cool.
But now we're looking forward to the concert on Sunday. And
Do you have any particularly iconic photos that you're going to try to replicate from that evening? Did you take any pictures?
no
that evening?
pictures, no pictures taken,
All right.
man. I mean, it was pre-digital. You didn't unless you took a camera
And
with you
saved
and,
it.
and
Steve,
saved it and waited. But
Do you have a couch picked out to foul that night, or
I do.
yeah.
I do have an iron one up over at my
Preston.
house. Yeah.
All right.
But I remember we used to. I remember one night we were at. God, we might have been at not Lisa Linson's. Who lived over that way near.
In Northville?
Yeah,
Maureen McAdams.
Maureen
McAdams,
McAdams.
yeah.
We were at her house one night, and we were listening to Joshua Tree and Trip Tree and Trip Through Your Wires came on, and we're just singing at the top of our lungs, and we just love that whole album. There's so many great songs. I can't wait to hear.
Did you? By the way, we were talking about earlier, but both you, Chet, and Steve, did you feel the same way after seeing that concert?
It was a good show.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It changed Preston's life, and you thought it was good.
We saw a lot of shows together. We saw quite a few, but that was.
It's Chet.
Oh, damn it. It's Preston on the phone. He's going to want me to come to this concert. I am not really a U2 fan, but what the hell?
No, I've been telling these guys that it was a turning point.
It was
for live music. For
lack
me.
of better words, it was magical. If that's not too stupid of a word.
Had you done the foot modeling thing yet, or would the?
They don't even know that story.
Okay, all right.
That was a whole
we'll
other
say about
thing.
that later.
Yeah. Yeah, Steve's looking at me like, what?
What?
For a brief period. Yeah,
model?
you may not know that your one of your dear friend is a former foot model.
It's a weird story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure is.
We'll send you home with a link to the Daily Rush.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow, thank you to Steve and Chet for being in here this morning. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy the show, guys.
Two of my best friends, and we should take ourselves. All right, thank you, Kathy. So last night, much anticipated show at Lincoln Financial Field. And you two, obviously, doing the Joshua Tree tour. And a lot of us were there last night. I think everybody but Casey and Marissa.
I think there was out for a concert. I think that's the most of us of the show that have been at one event in a long time.
Probably.
This was my favorite song, and then the screen behind them, like this. I knew they were going to do something cool with it.
Did you guys notice? So when they did Mysterious Ways, they were flashing pictures of famous women, like Maya Angelou and even like Ellen DeGeneres. It wasn't people that have just come and gone, current people, and Sister Mary.
Yes.
They put her picture
Oh, that's so cool.
Wow. Yeah, she was one of the last ones. They apparently had solicited, before they get to every town, let us know who a notable woman from your city is. So people nominated Sister Mary Scullion, and she was one of the last ones up on the screen, which was great.
That's so cool.
So I thought that was cool. That's a friend. I'm like, wait, I know her. You know? And then
this is Kathy Romano, who every morning, Monday through Friday, does the news, relates the stories of the day in succinct order, and then reads the sports from Nick. Always a little verbose, but very informative.
Oh, so you heard that too?
I did.
Yeah, we were walking to the car when they
were on the way out.
But it was so impressive. Her command of the stories of the day, and a special nod to 6ABC for providing a lot of the influence to that.
But also another friend of ours got a shout out, Senator Chris Coons.
Yeah.
What?
Wasn't that great?
I was like, wait, I know him.
Yeah, he's talking about AIDS relief that the United
States. WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kathy. Our next guest has been running the Philadelphia Auto Show for almost 30 years at this point. Yes. And he's back to do it again and tell us what's coming up. The whole event is taking place a week from tomorrow, and it will be at the the Pennsylvania Convention Center, of course. Tickets available at PhillyAutoShow.com. Please welcome the director, Mike Gempp, to our program.
Good morning to see you, my friends.
Good morning,
Happy New Year.
Mike. Good to see you, sir.
So please tell me the following statement is true.
Okay.
I am your first in-studio guest of 2025, and I earned that title because Shaun Cassidy's Uber wouldn't pay.
This is true.
That's basically it, yeah.
Where does my year go from here? That's all I need.
Hey, anybody listening right now, hang on to this because this might be a trivia question at the end of the year for Christmas Miracle.
True. Yep. Who was our first guest? Yeah,
I love it. That's great.
30 years.
So it is a little bit earlier this year. You were just telling us off air.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crunch time. I feel like I was just in here talking about the show yesterday, but here we go again. We're right after the new year. We're opening on January 11th, as you mentioned. The Black Tie is on the 10th, which is a great event, as it always is every year. But a little earlier. Sometimes we're mid-January. Sometimes we're late January. Rarely do we hit it this early, but the way the Convention Center is a busy place.
Steve was commenting on the 30 years, 29 years ago, 1996. That's when you first started as the director. Do you remember what the big the big thing was
Rumble
in 1996.
yeah. Me being in my mid-20s running an auto show in Philadelphia, that was that
So you
was
turned the
overwhelming.
crank?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, easy. Easy. I'm not that bad. Jeez, man. Model T years or anything. No, I remember back then, you had makes like Oldsmobile on the floor and Pontiac on the floor and downstairs. I remember a year we had like Daewoo when they were a thing.
Wow.
It's been a lot of years. I
We had
know.
a Daewoo Y100. You guys remember the Daewoo
Absolutely.
station wagon?
Yeah.
Green car.
Yeah.
And Mike, over the years, like I'm sure there have been some really cool concept cars that have never come to fruition. For you, what's the coolest one that you ever saw? And then like, a couple of years later, people actually driving it on the streets.
Well, you're absolutely right. A lot of the concepts, they never really. I remember like the Pontiac Prana. I thought was so cool back in the day.
What was it called?
The Pontiac Prana, right?
Oh, I
And
gotta
that never
look that
became
up.
a car. But like the Buick Avenir, that was another one that was absolutely
Okay.
beautiful.
Let me jump in here because I often bring up this Buick that I saw was a concept car. This, I'm not even a Buick guy, but this was a gorgeous car. And I remember with my wife said, if they can get this to, but it never happened. What they do is they get elements of it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Yep.
exactly what I was going to say. They take features of it. They that was what they used to do. They used to take them around. They just don't build them anymore because it's just so expensive to make them. And you just don't get them nearly as much as you used to.
And a lot of these vehicles that have to have a designated driver whose charge is to transport them and all that stuff, and it becomes a whole undertaking unto itself, correct?
Yeah, they would fly drivers in from all over the country that could only drive that vehicle, and that's all they would come in for is
Wow.
move it in, move it out.
But getting back to my question, which one like eventually that you saw and then people started actually driving them? Do any come to mind?
There's not really a nameplate that made it to mass production because, as Steve said, it's they take elements of it, and then you'll see it in different cars, or it'll be a way that they used to introduce the new look of the lineup going forward. So they would put a different grill on it, and that grill would then become an element of every Buick vehicle going forward or every GM vehicle going forward. So I really can't, in all honesty, think of one that went out and just went to mass production.
So to add on to Nick's question, what was the trend? Obviously, we have the EVs and we have the hybrids and so on and so forth. What was the thing that you saw really be the closest to a tectonic shift in automobiles and what people were attracted to?
Well, you absolutely hit it on the head. The most recent major shift that you're talking about is what's driving the vehicle. It used to be the looks of the cars, everything else. Now it's the drivetrain, right? The shift from ICE vehicles to electric vehicles, and with the new administration and possible regulations changing again or softening, the manufacturers are always adjusting to what's going on with the consumer, what's going on with the government. And for example, our EV track this year is 60,000 square feet large with the biggest lineup we've ever had.
Wow.
We have 17 vehicles on it, 7 manufacturers, including Cadillac is going to be on there with a Lyriq, possibly an Escalade IQ. We have Tesla on it this year with the Cybertruck. The VW is bringing the ID Buzz. So cool lineup of vehicles on our EV.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because I've been hearing and seeing rumblings of this car for quite a long time, and now they're available.
What is it called?
I'm a Subaru guy, right? And I love my Subaru, but this Volkswagen electric microbus, I don't know what they call it, but this thing I have fallen in love with. And this is available to see and look inside and all of that at the show?
Not only see and look inside, you can actually get inside one and go on our E-Track where we have a 330-foot acceleration lane, so you get to feel the torque of you'll see this thing. It looks like the old microbus back in the years of, the one parked down by the lake that you party in and have all kinds of stories out of. But then there it is up on the screen. I mean, if you haven't seen it, you should totally Google it.
So wait a second. You have a
cool
track so you can feel the torque on that. What's at the end of that track, just in case someone loses their ability to control? Because you see sometimes people get behind the wheel of these EVs and don't realize what it is and what you're dealing with.
So you're not driving it, you're riding along in it. So you're having a professional drive, you take you for a spin, but a lot of wire barriers there just in case, right?
All right, going back to this microbus, is this, when is this coming out?
It's available now.
It's available now. Any
fully
idea
electric.
what they're retailing for, roughly?
70s.
70. Wow.
Yeah. Just think of all the money you're going to save on gas, though.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Wow, man.
And electric's free.
Now, when it comes to, speaking of price, you guys go to the nth degree on showing some of these amazing cars, some of the higher exotics and performance cars. What's the really expensive ones? What are the really expensive ones topping out at this year?
Well, I mean, every year we always have exotics all over the floor. Custom Alley is one of our really cool areas of the show.
Very
it's
cool.
90 to 100,000 square feet of just customized vehicles, and you'll see there Lamborghinis and Bentleys and Rolls that have been customized because, owning it and buying it at $225 is just the start. Then you got to add on what you want to do to make it your own. So we'll have those all over the floor. McLaren, RDS Automotive Group's bringing out McLaren, Lotus. We're having BAC there this year. So some of the McLarens starting in the range of $250,000.
Yeah, I have a friend who has ample garage space, and he knows somebody who has a little bit of money. And he had a Ford GT that he had parked there for a little while. So I got to see that up and close. That was $1 million car. Which is insane. Any $1 million cars that we might see?
No, not that I know of yet.
Okay.
I mean, there's always a surprise that could hit me on the floor when they move, and we're like, whoa, how'd we get that here? But I don't know of any that we got at that level yet.
The most practical thing, though, for a car show like this, though, is if you, in the next year or so, are going to be looking at a car, this is your chance to go see everything that's out there.
It's the best.
In person.
You can go sit in it, take a look at the dash, all of that stuff, but you're doing multiple companies all side by side, and that's what makes it a must if you're literally thinking about getting a car within the next year.
Yeah, dozens and dozens of 2025 models, a lot of which, consumers haven't had the chance to actually see and experience on the floor. That's really what the heartbeat of the show is, right? To see, shop, compare of the main manufacturers, but then also adding in our classic display, our custom display, the E-Track, a little bit of everything for everybody.
Mike, I can't remember a time where there was a car that was as polarizing as the Cybertruck. And I don't want to yuck somebody's yum. If they like that car and they love it, go for it. And if you want to get it, go. I find them to be hideous, but some people absolutely love them. There's so much rancor online sometimes for these things. Whatever, if you love it, go ahead and drive it. Do you ever bring your personal feelings into the car show? Like, do you think, oh my God, I got to promote this ugly piece of crap?
I call it that. It's like the Tom Brady of trucks, right? Like, you either love it, you hate it, but you don't ignore it. You see it on the road, it's going to.
Yes, that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, it's going to turn your head no matter what. I personally feel that I look at it and it's not something I'm going to buy.
Right.
That's the best way I can say it. But there's a lot of people out there that it fills a niche for. And, that's why they make them. That's what they're out there. Somebody's, they're buying them. Yeah. And you're going to get a chance to ride one of those at the show.
Do you like that feature that they include in the Cybertrucks that it will cut your fingers off when you're lowering the hood? Have you seen that?
That is a feature that is exclusive to that.
We probably will get kicked out this year, but if you need a summary on what trunks are easiest to get out of if you're ever locked in a trunk, my son and his friends can give you that summary.
Oh, my God.
Because that's what they did last year at the car show. They would put each other in the trunk and see if they could get out.
Wow. So they played that little game.
They played that game until we found them.
So you can help me with my PR thing then. What trunks have the emergency escape latch? All right, great. I'll have to call your son, get an update.
I bet you the Cybertruck has a very good one.
Yeah, there you go.
We're going to be giving away for our Word of the Week prize tomorrow the Black Tie Tailgate passes. And that is the tailgate's on Friday?
Yeah, the tailgate is on Friday the 10th.
Okay.
And it's such a great event. I mean, we've been doing it now since 1986. We've raised over $10 million from Children's Hospital Philadelphia.
Early access to everything.
Early access to everything, full food, open bar. It's just a great way to see the show. The last 6 years, we've benefited the nursing department down at Children's Hospital directly over $2.6 million.
That's great.
Just to them alone. It's such a great event.
You get everything up?
Yep, everything we make that night. You get a chance to get dressed up, enjoy the show in a private atmosphere. Open food, open bar, like I said, and it all benefits. Everything we make from that evening goes directly to the Children's Hospital.
What's the name of the bear with the goggles on?
Clutch.
That's
our boy.
What a great name.
He's the best.
I love that. I've seen the ads on the billboards around town. So you guys are deep into promoting this. Obviously, the whole auto show I was reading this goes back to 1902.
It does. Our association was founded in 1904. The show goes all the way back to 1902, and it has been through a lot over those years.
I understand some of the models on display that year were horses.
It is hard to kind of, now there you're talking about cranking your cars, right? I don't go back that far. I swear I did not produce it in 1902. But the cool thing is, it's grown and changed over the years. This year we have more manufacturers coming back to the show floor. It's the largest show and largest gathering of manufacturers since COVID.
It's good to hear.
Which is great.
It's good to hear because that says good things about where everything's going. Always a big hit of the car show is the pop culture, your Back to the Future DeLoreans, or what's represented this year? The whole spate of the usual suspects?
Oh, yeah. No, we got great movie cars lined up this year, and I think we're actually going to even more than I know about. It's funny, the guy that brings them out from Branson, Missouri, has a celebrity car museum out there, and that's how we hooked up with them. But we're bringing out two vehicles from Twisters. We're bringing out the Ram 350, as also the Durango that was nicknamed Scarecrow in that movie. We're bringing out the Impala from Fast X, driven by Jason Momoa. Then your favorites. You got the DeLorean Time Machine. And Stranger Things is coming back to Netflix, so we're bringing out a Hawkins van this year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
We have a guy we've known for years, Bill Lambig, who is always emailing in, but he owns a Roscoe Pico train police car. And I think, does he have the General Lee as well?
I think he has the General Lee as well. Or he might have sold it, but he had it for a while.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's a culture of people that owning these iconic vehicles.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about the show. Obviously, like I said earlier, the heartbeat is the see, shop, and compare element of it, but you get to dream a little bit. We have Camp Jeep coming back this year, which if you've been to the show before, is a feature of its own. It's a 18-foot hilltop that the Jeep will drive you over and down the other side, articulation ramps, things like that. It's all on the show floor. All of this is included with your auto show ticket. So you want to ride Camp Jeep, you want to ride on the E-Track, viewing a 60,000 square foot classic display, 130,000 square foot custom display, which is a show of itself. It's all included in your auto show ticket when you get down there.
Nice. And we'll be giving some tickets away. Mike gave us a bunch of tickets, so we'll have your opportunity to grab those between now and then. And, of course, our Word of the Week prize for the Black Tie Tailgate we will give away tomorrow morning. It's operated by the Auto Dealers Association of Greater Philadelphia. Philly tradition, and those tickets are on sale now at phillyautoshow.com. Anything we did not mention that you want to hit before we send you on your way?
No, we're just super excited to be back again this year and really have, like I said, our largest lineup of manufacturers, E-Track vehicles. The show's heading, in the right direction after COVID. We're working our way back up, and we're super excited to be able to put it on the floor. It is a Philadelphia icon. We're super proud and excited to bring it back to Philadelphia.
Excellent.
By the way, real quick, a text message says, what is Clutch's girlfriend's name? I see her on the commercials.
Pedal.
Pedal.
I was going to say something that was so wrong.
Got a flower.
Okay, Pedal.
Yeah, Pedal works.
Clutch and then
and Pedal.
Yeah. Clutch and Pedal's much more family friendly.
Excellent. All right, Mike, good luck with everything. Thanks for coming by here.
Thanst so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Mike Gempp, guys. Philadelphia Auto Show. It's on. And like we said, those tickets available at phillyautoshow.com for you. I had a couple of shout-outs I want to do because otherwise I will not get to them, and I never want to do that. So let me start by reading this one. It says, Dear Presbo, Happy New Year. I procrastinate with the best of them. When I saw a Martina Martinez clip on TikTok, I said, this is the universe speaking to me. I was the first name called up at this year's Miracle, and you guys blessed me with the scooters to start my own scooter gang.
Wow.
I'm sure my girlfriend Noelle at the Christmas Miracle with me would have had to win spa gift cards or even Steven Singer diamonds, but she's a fan for life after the fun we had. We love you guys. This time of year is tough, and I go through a seasonal depression when my radio show takes a holiday vacation. How dare yous? Can we listeners get a shout out for the whole MMR staff? Thank you. And that is from Timmy Zacola, by the way. So, Timmy, and congratulations, man. The scooters.
There was some stuff. I mean, honestly, so we rolled right into that, and that was a big undertaking. But I think you and I, we knew a lot of the prizes, but I don't think a lot of them had sunk in. And then hearing them announced at the camp out, I'm like, mother of God, there's some great stuff given away.
It was a great time. And then this one says, hey, good morning, Preston. I was wondering if you could give my mother-in-law a birthday shout-out. Her name is Jean Ribideau, and she works at St. Mary's Hospital. It might be Ribideau, D-O-U-X, R-I-B-I-D-O-U-X. Ribideau, probably. Ribideau. She works at St. Mary's Hospital. She's a huge fan of the show. Her and the ladies that she work with will hear the shout out, and I know it will make her feel special for the day. Her birthday is January 3rd. Oh, is that
tomorrow?
It's tomorrow. All right.
It's okay.
Also, she is the best possible mother-in-law. We all love you, Jean. Thanks for being you. It is from the Ertel family, and Brandon had sent this over. So there's a chart, and they also said, also thank you, President Steve, Kathy, Casey, Nick, Marissa. Have a great 2025. So we
very nice.
That. Yep, absolutely.
By the way, quick question to that as we're going through this. It comes up every year, and then somebody asked me, how late into January do you continue to say Happy New Year?
I think it's if you see the person for the first time.
What if you see them like on January 30th?
For the first time, Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that might hold true if you don't see them between the start of the year and
All
then.
right.
That might be okay. But if you've already seen them, why have you?
There's a point of contention. I think like 2 weeks in. I think I heard. So I don't know. I'm looking for direction. I'm going to be the best person I can be.
And when do you say Merry New Year? By the way, that was on. I guess they run that Trading Places. That was on New Year's Eve.
Okay.
I watched it a little bit. It was in the daytime. It was in the evening.
You know what I didn't do for the first time? I feel like ever since the movie came out, I didn't watch A Christmas Story all the way through. I saw little bits and pieces of it, but normally I would always make it a point to watch the whole thing. I didn't get the
beginning to end, or can you watch it at some point that it's already started and then circle back and catch up until that point?
You can.
'Cause that's what I did this year.
You can do that, but like I didn't see more than maybe 10 minutes of the movie.
Do you know what I ended up watching fully? I did not see all of A Christmas Story. I watched A Christmas Story.
Okay.
Fully. Which I think is sweet. I think it's a solid movie.
Yeah. I like I said the other day, at the end of it, when you're realizing that the article he wrote is actually the story of the first movie, it's great. It circles back around.
Because they could have effed that up 900 different ways.
We ended up watching it, but we did it in the way that I said. It was like 3/4 of the way through. We watched it, we finished it, and then it came back around, and we just kept watching it, which I love.
Did you notice? I mean, every year it seems there are more and more. There are a number of channels showing A Christmas Story. Die Hard was around the clock.
Elf.
And then it seems like there were just marathons aplenty.
I mentioned this before the holidays. I think that A Muppet Christmas Carol is a good movie, but not a Muppet movie. And I heard from a lot of people over the holidays who some agreed with me, many disagreed with me. But then I ended up watching a different Muppet movie that's called A Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. It was made for NBC in 2002. And Preston, it's directed by Kirk Thatcher. Who we met. He's friends with Michael Giacchino.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to Michael. Actually, we're going to have Mick Giacchino on the show tomorrow, Michael's son. But it's really good. And it's in the same vein as the Jason Segel Muppet movie that came out in like 2009 or 2011 or whatever that was. It's like tongue-in-cheek stuff. And basically, it's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
Kermit wishes at some point that he was never born, and you see what happens to the world without Kermit. It's good. I'd never seen it before, and it's funny. It has a whole bunch of guest stars, and I really enjoyed it.
And Bill Beretta's in that one, too,
Yes.
it says here in the...
he's Pepe the Prawn or whatever that character is. Yeah, it's really good. Pepe the Prawn, yeah.
Casey, did you get the... I sent you outtakes, speaking of the Muppets, from Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas?
I literally watched those outtakes the day before you sent them.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did watch Emmett Otter twice.
Is that where the wheel rolls into the
Yeah.
screen? It's great.
Yeah. It is great, Marissa.
Wait, I love that you mentioned Pepe because Pepe is having a moment right now. He's like trending as a TikTok. You know how you can like add a sticker to things?
Yeah.
So he kind of like freaks out a little bit. So the Inquirer did a whole story about Bill because he actually created Pepe.
Yes.
I guess 20 or so years ago.
That's wild.
It might have been created
30.
for this movie with that Kirk Thatcher directed, and like he's Bill Beretta as Pepe is really funny in A Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie.
So Sesame Street is a great follow on Instagram and TikTok and all. And Pepe responded to himself being memed. It's just very meta, fun moment.
Okay. If you like that, I have to recommend Terrifier 3. It is a Christmas movie.
But speaking of trending on TikTok, my nephew ended up trending on TikTok. It was funny because my youngest daughter was watching. His girlfriend apparently had posted a video. She didn't even know it was his girlfriend. She'd never met her or anything like that. This thing at this point has probably got over 2 million likes on it. But he and Kath, I don't know how I don't really ever go to TikTok. But anyway, my nephew got his girlfriend a Cartier love ring for Christmas, and it's just her opening this gift. And
and that's what
They should make that into a movie.
Yeah.
Wait, how old is he?
22.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe you just turned 20.
What made it stand out?
A lot of things. I think her reaction to it, the family reacting to it. The mom was like, "What is it? What are you?" So you hear the mom in the background like yelling and all that. But so my daughter's watching this girl open this present, and then the camera kind of pans. And she's like, "Oh my God, that's Owen! Like that's my cousin, you know." And then so she ends up showing me. I mean, it had like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know in the world of TikToks, like, how many likes it needs to be in order for it to be viral or whatever. But by the time I watched
2 million's a lot.
It had over 1 million likes. That's not even the amount of views that it ended up having, you know? And I remember your daughter ended up having, like, just something blew up on TikTok.
It was at the very beginning. I think it was when it was still called Musical.ly.
Yeah.
And something got over like 300,000 views, and it was like, it was just a simple little thing. Just
you
singing.
never know,
right?
Yeah, you never know.
And it can be the way the reaction. It can be, and that's why it's so weird. And I was reading, I'm doing my deep dives on all this stuff, and why it's so hard to monetize a lot of this.
Okay,
because of what's retained and what. Right now I currently have otters, and I'm back to wingsuits.
Oh, so you're
in my
on otters,
algorithm.
huh?
Yeah, I'm
Welcome
baby
to the
otters.
Otter Club, bro.
Yeah.
I'm an otter guy.
It's weird how the algorithm directs you, you know?
Otters and dachshunds, and then I got made fun of the other day because...
Donkeys?
No, it was just babies saying cute things, you know?
Oh, babies cursing.
That's
one of my favorites.
I had a top 10 babies cursing. It's an effing goat. It's an effing goat.
I love that one.
It's so good, isn't it? Yeah.
You've seen that, right, Preston?
Not
good.
the effing goat.
Yeah, and then and the kid's got a raincoat on, and she's going, effing damn it.
There was one a while back. The accent made me think of this. It was this little girl complaining about the price of ice
Price
cream.
of ice cream.
That
yes.
was and she is, you won't believe it, like this really thick. She might have been Scottish.
She made a top moment on the Christmas Eve. I mean the New Year's Eve special.
That's
her
great.
video was one of them.
Awesome.
Hey, we are 1,400 followers short of 100,000 on our Instagram account. So the Instagram account is Preston and Steve Show. We currently have 98.6 thousand followers, and it'd be really cool to get to 100,000.
That'd be a good way to kick off the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do it by the end of my sentence.
Hey, I was going to ask this real quick, and I was thinking because I'm like nil on social media. I just very rarely post and just occasionally scroll. But do you remember way back when? I think it might have been a Twitter thing. Follow Friday. FF,
Yes.
Hashtag FF. That doesn't exist anymore, does it? Nah, Marissa's going like,
Hot girl check-in is now the new thing.
Well, there you go.
Did you see the Rafe finds? Is it Rafe or Ralph?
Oh,
Ray.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I don't get it. There was a video of him on New Year's Eve.
It's a TikTok thing that you missed that trend, and that's why you didn't get the joke.
The demure video was a big viral sensation about a woman talking about.
I remember that becoming one of the words of the year in Oxford Dictionary or one of those.
And his performance of it per word was hilarious.
Was how this woman had done it?
Right, but for an actor of his level to do it that way was pretty goddamn amusing.
Yeah, you sent it to me. I started watching. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't know what this is because I didn't have context for it. So
right, it's not going to make. That's a lot of this stuff you've had to have seen this obscure video that's more than likely eluded you unless you're spending 24/7 on social media.
Yeah. Should I make 2025 where I become a social media maven? I mean, really, just really dive in, eat it all up.
You know, just drink.
I went out to dinner this over break with a friend who does not have any social media. Her name's Julia, and it was a double-edged sword because it seems like she's having a happier life. However, there were a whole bunch of things like news-oriented that she had completely missed. And like she's tried to tune out the news over the last couple of months, which I understand. But she had no idea about Diddy and Jay-Z and everything that's going on. She's like, Diddy's in jail?
Oh, my God, really?
Yes. But like that sort of ignorance is bliss thing, I was jealous of her for that.
You could get that without social media.
Well, a friend of mine about 4 years ago or so said he just bailed on news, period. And we only talk a couple times a year. He's an old friend of mine. And I still ask him, so you still swimming? He's like, yep, absolutely. Staying away from it. It's great. Love it. And I'm like, I don't think I could go all the way away from it. But he knows nothing. So you would literally say something to him about, hey, this horrible thing happened in New Orleans where this guy drove down the street and killed all these people. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You didn't know about it.
So I just watched the second season of Lioness. By the way, it's aces, guys. You go through the whole first season of Lioness. Zoe Saldana's in it. It's really, really well done. I believe it's on Paramount. But the second season is just perfect. But there is a sit-down between this CIA director guy, and then Morgan Freeman's character, who up until this moment, I thought he might have been the president. I didn't really know who he was. But anyway, he's like a deep cabinet member. But they talk about the news and how the news stopped becoming the news when it became a 24-hour news thing, like a 24-hour channel. And then it became entertainment.
Anchorman 2 addresses that moment at which they cover a car chase on the California highway.
Yeah.
And though it's done as satirical, it's true. When you had to fill up 20, Greg Giraldo used to do a bit about it. A half hour is about enough that you need for the news.
Well, now it's an opinion of what they think the news is and what it means.
And they're overly vet. Like, why am I learning about someone's first prom dance in back home in Oregon?
Yeah.
They're just scouring. I sent you, Preston, an article, and we'll get to it at some point. It was in the Daily Mail, and the Daily Mail is a great. It's like FARC. It's a big. It scours. It's an aggregator. But an article from the psychologist who's saying signs that let you know someone doesn't like you. It is the most obvious. We'll get to it at some point. The most
is
obvious.
it when they say I don't like you?
It's ridiculous.
But Nick, I want to go back to what you were saying about your friend who's not on social media at all, because I also have a friend who's not on social media. But man, does he tell me about all the things that he sees that I do on Instagram, because he still watches social media on other people's phones.
She does not.
But okay.
So she avoids it entirely. And it really is like an interesting perspective to talk to somebody who's clueless about a lot of stuff, but in many respects, happier as a result. I was, like I said, I'm a little jealous of her ability to avoid it entirely. And yeah, Casey, she's not just sitting there like with ghost Instagram accounts still watching you or whatever. It's for her, it's not a part of her life.
Yeah. By the way, you want me to read that list of things?
Yeah, and you can just cut right. So this is a legitimate article about how you can tell someone doesn't like you, but by a professional who knows what signs to look for.
It's from Francesca Tainin, originally from Romania, now based in the U.S., studied psychology at City University in London. She has over 1.3 million followers on TikTok, where her viral fame has come from. And yes, she has found that there are certain indications that can reveal if someone dislikes you.
Now pay close attention.
I hate you more than anything in this damn world. If someone says that,
yes,
that is
good
one.
indicator.
That's the first one. No, lack of eye contact.
Of course.
Is one of them. She said that, number one, avoiding eye contact. This may suggest that they are trying to avoid deeper connection or conversation.
That's a psychologist.
God, I hate you so much.
Next, the psychologist noted that pursing your lips can offer up a key detail. She said it's a nonverbal indication of irritation or disapproval.
Bill Weston.
I mean,
I knew.
Yeah, Bill would always purse his lips.
Yeah. When Bill was angry.
In mild defense of this, Steve, people who don't know social cues might actually benefit from this.
All right.
I know a couple of people, but pursing your lips, yes, that was a Bill Weston move.
Yeah.
Without question.
I'd see him walking down the hall like that.
I want to kiss someone. I want to kiss someone bad.
I just want to
Where's
kiss
Kathy?
Ew.
Is that maybe a bad person?
Is that better than lashing out? Like sort of, especially in a work environment, instead of getting angry and irate and yelling, they're like pursing your lips and walking down the hallway and that's how people know that you're angry?
I find it works if you can ball your emotions up and shove them down
deep.
Wait for that one time when it all explodes out.
Here's what. This is my telltale sign.
Oh, okay.
That I'm done.
Oh, no.
Talking to you. And I clearly noted that when I read it. She said that someone's feet can tell you what you need to know about their feelings. She said turning their body or feet away from you. This can indicate a desire to disengage. I do this all the time. If I'm talking to someone and I've realized that either I don't have time or I just can't contribute to this conversation anymore. Kathy, I will do this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really. And what I've done is I've now turned my lower body towards the door.
I'm in the process of leaving now.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to leave now.
And I'll even take a little step. I do this as an indicator to Rochelle as well as
I'm out.
We can go now, hon. I'm turning. I've taken a step. It's an indicator.
Do you ever just bolt?
Yeah.
Wait! Yeah. Excuse me. I just got my money and I'm getting out of here.
We don't need your social cues. We know immediately when you've stopped
Me?
listening. Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious because I'll go, what did you say?
What?
Yeah.
Sorry. They said they subconsciously position themselves towards an exit or away from the interaction.
Or literally jump out an open window.
Similarly, she revealed that putting their arms around themselves could be a sign that they don't want to be around you.
I do that.
So crossing your arms.
I'll do that. Not a full cross. I'll do this.
Yeah, just kind of
Hugging myself
giving your own
like-
hug, and that you feel is
in
kind of
my
like,
mind. I've now become the person that I want to crush to death.
But she said it's part of creating barriers, placing objects such as a bag or crossed arms between you.
I find that when you place a bag over someone's head that you're talking to,
Hey, does anyone have a bag?
That helps.
Can I borrow a bag?
I need to put it over your head so you shut up.
And then lastly, the psychologist said, number 5, a limited smile or engagement.
I mean, this sounds like every conversation I have with a human.
A lack of genuine smiles or limited facial expressions signal the short smile. That's an indicator. It's like,
I'm done with you.
lack of warmth in the interaction as well.
Yeah.
They say these are indicators. The body language.
Literally running up the wall.
Yeah.
But Press, you did in the beginning of this part of the conversation, you did bring something up that I didn't think about. Because yes, to a lot of people, this is obvious stuff, but there are people out there who just don't take those social cues. So this is really, really good for people who don't, who can't do that.
As a sign of courtesy, you should say, I'm not enjoying this conversation, and I've determined I don't like you.
Listen,
is that helping?
Yeah. My oldest, who's on the spectrum, has issues with this, and I can be very clear about my intentions of, okay, we're done talking about this now, and it continues on, and he's just, and I feel really bad about that, but also he needs to know these
Sure,
things.
because out in the real world where somebody's not going to understand immediately, it would help.
And it can come off as, that dude's a weirdo. He's not getting my signal.
Does he think you're? But does he view it as rude? Like you're being rude because he doesn't understand the cue?
No, like he doesn't just.
He just talks through it.
Does not pick up on it at all.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, blind to it.
We used to work with someone who had that inability to read cues,
right?
And many people perceived it as being
rude.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
I have. I try to be more aware of that now.
Yeah.
That this person is acting this way not because. It's just
you need to know. I don't like you. And I'm not enjoying it.
I don't want to. I'm not trying to be rude. I want to tell you that I don't like you or anything that you're saying right now.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude. I just need you to know.
If I had the option to literally throw my body into a blast furnace, I would do that now rather than spend one more second listening to what you're saying.
Could you guys ever approach life like Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm, or even like we talked recently about Hugh Grant, how he just seems like shorter, but also there's such freedom in that, and just like being like, I
feel like I'm heading in that direction, to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Just getting grumpier and older.
But the
I'm
notion,
over it all, man.
I would say this. I'll parse it with this. The notion of hurting someone's feelings indiscriminately is something I cannot tolerate.
Yep.
I am perhaps a little bit more adroit at saying, okay, I think I'm past this now. I'm going to move on and try to do it in the best way possible.
Right.
But the notion of just hurting someone's feelings, it was being genuine and being sweet and kind.
Listen, I was a part of I went and saw Fish at Madison Square Garden last week, actually on Sunday, and I was part of this text chain for way too long. It was like a month leading up to it. And, finally I had to speak my mind because everybody's like, what if we do this? What did it do? And I'm like, hey, listen, all I want to do is have a burger and watch the Eagles game because we were getting there so early, right? Yeah. But like everybody was doing all these, and I was like, I'm not asking for anything, right? But like, the Eagles play on Sunday. They're playing against the Cowboys. I'm like, I just want to watch the Eagles game. And you know what we did? We went to a bar that only had the Liverpool soccer match on, and that was perfect. I was so happy about that.
So it worked.
It worked. They had one television, and it was soccer.
So you being direct and saying the thing that you wanted, in the end, you got exactly what you wanted.
Didn't matter. Hey, but it's all right because I was able to secure us 4 tickets. So, like, I didn't really do anything for the day. You know what I mean?
Well, at least you have a place to vent.
Yeah. But hey, we got to go where, my buddy went to have his burger.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I would like to be any one of the characters on Shrinking because they all just speak whatever is in their mind.
I know.
They do.
I hate it, though, too, because
love
it's
it
just
so
so
much.
scripted. I wish it was actually real. But I love the show. But at times, I'm like...
So you don't like that a TV show is scripted?
No, I just don't like how everything works out perfectly, right?
He's talking about everything is a reveal is a deeper than most people would speak. However,
yes.
I think that in this hyper reality of Shrinking, you get little wonderful tidbits about the way people are thinking about so in a way, it can also give you ideas about how you might handle a similar situation.
Exactly, and it also is a great show if you haven't seen Shrinking yet. It's just wonderful. I think
Ted Lasso did the same thing.
They're overdoing it in the openness that people have with each other, but maybe to some extent for the viewers, it may give them a chance to unlock their ability to do that on occasion in the right situation and talk things out.
The original season of Strange New Worlds, a Star Trek show that I was telling you guys about, was great. And then season 2, everything was exposition. And what's wrong? Well, I think when my father... It was a rhetorical question, dumbass. I don't care. Now play with your phaser and shut the hell up. And so not everyone is always just, one inquiry away from revealing all of their foibles.
Right. All right. Well, anyhow, I don't even know how we got here, but we do need to take a break. Kathy, thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
Just a heads up, Cardboard Classic is coming up, and that's our next big thing on the Preston and
We
Steve
figured
show.
we haven't done enough big things lately.
Well, we have almost 2 months to get ready for it. So February 28th.
Super psyched for this, especially because it's a little bit earlier, which heightens our chance of having a robust, healthy snow condition.
Yeah. It's going to get really, really cold this weekend, so they're putting down even more base. So that'll be good. But it's going to be Friday, February 28th. Sled registration will begin soon. It says here it begins in January, so I don't know exactly when, but it's free. But come out, and there's also a bunch of shows that are taking place. Friday, the world's largest 80s party featuring M80s, a tribute to MTV, will be playing all the hits from that era. And then Saturday, there's a DJ at 11 a.m., pond skimming at noon. Tonic and Better Than Ezra are playing the main stage, followed by fireworks on Saturday.
Make it the full weekend. Everyone that we know who's done the full weekend and really, gone up. Listen, because Montage and the town... It's just perfect for all this.
Yep. So just get yourself set for that. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back in a second, and we got more Bizarre File stories. We're going to share those. Stay put.
Preston and Steve.
Around the world, and it was so Bono went on to a long AIDS. It was really extolling the benefits of and the virtues of the United States and the taxpayers, and
he was thanking us.
And he was thanking a lot of Americans, and he said Rick Santorum, George W. Bush, and he's here tonight, Senator Chris Coons.
Wow! By the way, you may know him because he went out to the Camp Out for Hunger, which is the same show that Kathy Romano I mentioned earlier does the news for. It's a great union of philanthropic people here tonight.
It really was amazing.
I know you just probably eat it for breakfast. We have a man called Pancake here.
Oh, man. Let's see. Five Funger
Bung Punch. Five Funger Bung Punch. That's close.
Funger. It's just a funny sounding word.
Great group of new musicians called Five Funger Bung Punch. And they've got a message to tell you. Say, anytime you take a good solid punch to the bung, it's gonna be impactful. Like Nelson Mandela told me one time when he was having a large chocolate chip cookie. He said this thing's huge, but it's not as huge as the love on this earth that we live in. Remember that as you're getting your bung punched.
Maybe this winter we could do the camp out for Funger.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Cheated on? Yeah.
See?
Actually.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
It's not so much fun, is it, see?
No,
Where's your idol now?
I remember, but that was totally my fault because
You weren't giving oral.
No.
Oh.
Preston always does, yes.
Not like the king, man.
Oh my God.
That's right. I go down there.
What's that?
Third person yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Preston do that.
I'm pretty good at it. So I think I got to step back.
I want to brag.
Join the club.
I turned into a completely...
He's the connoisseur guy.
He's the linguist. The cunning linguist.
Oh, man.
There it is.
I don't want to talk about
Have I ever referred to myself in third person before?
I don't know, but that was the perfect occasion to do so.
Oh, Preston likes the bud.
No, Preston, Preston does good in that department.
Preston, go there.
Come on.
You want me to go on for a little while?
No,
Well, I'll tell you what.
Keep talking about whatever it was. Move on.
I'm interested.
Maybe that's an on-air contest one time. We'll
who's best?
Yeah. Kathy can judge.
Oh, come on. This is awful.
Come on. It's not gonna.
awful.
It's not crap. We're not going to do it.
He's just covering his face right now.
We'll just use a cantaloupe.
Like, I swear to God, it's a fireable offense in any other job.
I know. You're right. And yet for us, it's tax write-offable.
Why do you immediately assume an oral sex contest is going to be bad? It's going to be something salacious. Yes, she's going to be sit up on an elevated chair like at Wimbledon.
I just want to involve you, Kath.
I don't think we have an HR department anymore.
No, if they did, they shot themselves 5 minutes
You
ago.
guys are good.
Foot foul.
But so you were cheated on. Do you remember how you felt?
Yeah, so hurt, but
you understood.
Hurt, and then in retrospect was, why are you getting mad? You completely neglected this girl anyway.
Yeah.
You were kind of tired of her. She was kind of driving you crazy anyhow. And it was, at first, it was like, I don't know. I just kind of automatically got into the how dare you type of thing.
Well, of course.
But it was my fault. And you know what?
Yeah, but you know what? It's like it's a reaction that anybody would have, no matter what the situation is.
Because you're supposed to react that way, right?
Do you know what those...
I was 17, 18, something like that.
You always see, and in movies, a lot of times they've done good examples of how there are little things where your significant other, you think you're getting away with something, they can pick up on it. There's body, as you said, you just had a feeling with this other person. It just I couldn't deal with this.
And you know what you also haven't had to deal with, Steve, is the multiple ways people can cheat too. You know, and that's a relatively recent development over the last 10, 15 years of sexting and Instagram cheating.
You are so
direct
right.
message cheating and whatever else.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Yeah, and it was, and I, like you said earlier, I suspected it, and this was post-divorce.
I think there's that interesting delineation, though, between physical and emotional.
Yeah.
I could see people saying...
But it's both.
Right.
Either way, it hurts.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a texter or a caller, but yeah, it hurts, and it hurts in degrees. But it really doesn't matter that much. And I knew the guy. I knew the other guy too.
Really?
Yeah,
It was Bill Weston.
It was Bill Weston. Oh, I know. Yeah. He was on his way to the Turtle Show, and he was.
This is what Bill comes into the bedroom to.
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of...
Who wants to ride the silver pony? Not everyone can take a ride on a wild Appaloosa.
Oh, God.
I'm going to list the things I'm going to do to you, but not in order. Number 4, tickle your butt. Number 2, French kiss. Number 1, meet missile to Tuna Town. Third leg of the stool, third leg of me. Look at that thing.
Look at that thing. Got some low-hanging fruit right here, too.
Right there.
Look at those.
Yeah.
2 low-hanging fruits.
Look at those low-hanging plums. Oh, can we do a whole half hour of this?
That is the promo immediately.
Wow.
Go now and cut it up. I'm so getting in trouble for that.
Yes, you are.
Kathy, who did nothing,
Dare you.
will be singled out.
We need to get this underway. We got to get it. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the other side of the studio. We have a table set up where our guests normally are. You guys head on over there. And we're all going to be together surrounding this and opening it as if being in the room wasn't close enough as it is. So I'm going to make my way over. Casey, you're going to helm this?
Yeah,
all right,
I'll be on the other side.
All right, so I'm going to cut into this.
Okay.
Oh my God!
Did you learn how to?
No.
Just being in proximity to it, this close, it's ramped up 50%.
Yeah.
It is awful.
Okay.
Oh wait, where's your puke things? I don't think this one's not going to make you throw up.
No, they're behind us. Well, wait a minute. Marissa got the directions on how to cut it.
All right, come on in, Marissa. Quickly, Preston needs to do it.
What's that?
It's covered with spines.
I'm going to cut this off first.
Yeah, cut that off.
Yeah, the neck.
Okay. Cut. I don't, Marissa.
Right here, like where there's little bulbs.
Okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. All right, let me.
Careful. He's not wearing gloves or anything.
Is it really difficult to cut through?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to, I need something. Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's where gloves.
I need a cloth or something.
Holy crap. What a nightmare. Who's the first jackass who...
Oh, dear God.
Oh, God.
Did you catch a whiff?
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
No. I'm lightheaded.
Oh, my
I've almost got it all the way open. All right, it's open
Are
now.
you kidding me?
Here, I'm so far away.
Jesus.
Can I get a little...
God.
Oh,
Stop
God.
it. I don't want to do the fish.
Oh, my God. That's nasty.
Oh, that's weird.
You like it, Casey?
No,
no.
it feels like it's sucking the oxygen out of the room.
It is.
Kathy, you took a good sniff of it. I can't believe that.
I wanted,
God damn. Why would you?
because I wanted to see if there was like a little bit of a fruit smell or like a nice smell to it.
Casey wants actually me to hand the fruit to him. He's going to take a good sniff. Get in there tight, Case. Smell it. What do you think?
There's
Not too bad?
It doesn't smell good. But
Holy, and it's getting worse.
It reminds me of something else that
Liquid ass.
that I do like.
How can you tell if this would be ripe or not ripe?
My question is, who is the first individual in the jungle that said it's worth smelling this crap on the chance it's tasty?
There you go.
I don't like it.
Is anybody going to try and eat
Yes,
it?
give it to me now. I'm not good for much longer, so please.
Here, Steve.
All right. Oh, this is so sharp.
All right, if it tastes like heaven, I'll try it.
All right.
Wait, do you know which part
what am
you're
I
supposed
eating?
to
Am I
eat?
eating its ass?
That custard-looking stuff.
The pod.
Holy God Almighty!
Oh,
I'm not kidding.
Oh, God.
And this is right in my zone. This is like, you know how puke makes you puke?
Yeah.
This is.
All right.
It's like snot.
Oh, Steve hesitated for a moment there.
Are you in your mouth
man.
watery?
Can I have a
Oh, you're taking
Dude, you're getting too much.
Oh, well, I don't know. I've never eaten durian before.
All right, go.
All right, I love you.
Just sample it.
Oh,
All right, it's in his mouth. He's eating
Does
it.
it taste like heaven?
Steve?
It's horrible.
I can't imagine something that smells like this is going to taste good.
Water now.
Water! We forgot about water. We forgot to have water. Here you go. Here comes your water.
Thank you, Maria. It tastes like it smells.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good. What culture embraces that as food?
It's even worse now that he
ate it?
Yeah, let me stir some of that up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, don't stir it up.
That's what we need.
Oh, no, it's not good. The way you would figure it tastes, take the smell and convert that to a taste.
Oh, look at that piece, Preston.
And that's it.
Preston, you eat that piece right there.
I ain't eating.
Oh, you're not tasting
Preston,
No.
I had a piece caught in my meat tooth.
Oh, no.
Hey, do you want a?
What is that?
Oh, so that's like the pit in it, or I think they might call it a stone, but I read that they actually roast them and people eat them.
It looks like an embryo.
Listen.
WMMR.
All right, let's do some Bizarre File.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
All right, we'll dive right into this. We'll start with a story out of Missouri. A man is once again behind bars after he allegedly exposed his genitals to a life insurance agent as he attempted to apply for a policy.
I'm very happy with this policy. This is my nutsack.
Yeah, court records filed on Christmas have revealed that Antonio Murphy has been charged in connection with a sexual crime. So it was around 10:55 p.m. on Christmas Eve. Law enforcement officials were called to a local life insurance business with reports that a possible client had exposed his genitals.
Do you handle auto insurance? And look at the creases in my testicles.
The victim told first responders that Murphy had come to the office to apply for life insurance. As he applied for the policy, the victim briefly left her office and returned to find his genitals exposed.
That's your nutsack.
Are you as hot as I am?
Officials said Murphy was found at his home and arrested, and during the course of the investigation, it was also found that he had been a repeat offender. He's listed on the Missouri Sex Offender Registry for a similar charge he was convicted of in 2020. He was also found guilty of 2 counts of sexual misconduct in 2021 and was arrested for harassment in February 2024.
There's something about a good policy that makes me so horny.
Murphy remains behind bars on a $10,000 bond.
Sounds like he's got issues.
It does. Pretty and popular Aubrey Van Lendingham had the world at her feet as she progressed through high school in a well-to-do suburb of Austin, Texas. Not only was she a cheerleader, but she also had just been made president of the school's Future Farmers of America. And she was particularly proud of her pet goat, Lacey, which she paraded in animal shows across the state for cash prizes and certificates. Well, the 17-year-old posted her beloved pet on her social media with now deleted posts detailing her excitement to head up the Vista Ridge High School FFA in Cedar Park in her senior year. But prosecutors claim her desire to win got too much for the teen, and she turned to evil ways to ensure a victory, and that was by poisoning a fellow student's goat.
She took out the competition.
Yep. Van Lendingham is facing the prospect of up to 2 years in prison if convicted of poisoning 6-month-old Willie twice over a 3-day period, eventually killing him. The brazen teenager showed no remorse when authorities launched a probe, allegedly
I'd do it again,
telling police, "I don't like cheaters," when she was questioned.
But she was cheating.
Yeah, well, initially the brunette denied targeting her rival's goat, but then admitted to cops that she had injected the white and brown farm animal with pesticide.
But I'm pretty.
At the school's barn facility, leaving her bellowing in pain before dying in its 15-year-old owner's arms.
So it's
actually a terrible story.
It's an animal cruelty violation, yes.
She is even said to have Googled how to clear her disturbing search history after looking up how much bleach kills a goat. If goats inject bleach, do they die? And poisoning pets, what you should know.
What a little sweetheart.
Officers also discovered a video of Willie running away from Aubrey and convulsing after she allegedly poisoned him before sending the twisted footage to her mother of his freshman owner. She has been charged with 1 felony torturing of an animal, which under Texas law means she could face up to 2 years in jail and a $10,000 fine. She has yet to enter a plea. Video footage obtained by police allegedly shows the brunette forcing a syringe-like item into the goat's mouth.
Christ.
The goat then attempted to break free before the teenager used a syringe on the animal twice more. She checked on Willie twice in a 2-hour period, checking on his condition before calling her schoolmate's mother to say Willie was convulsing and acting funny.
How many steps away was she from taking out a cheerleading competitor that way?
Willie died 21 hours later after being poisoned by the teenager, and a vet was initially able to figure out what was going wrong with the goat.
Wow.
The mother of the 15-year-old girl who owned the goat said she wants justice for her daughter and her goat, and they're calling for a judge to give Aubrey jail time. And necropsy confirmed the cause of death as intoxication from Fosmet, a pesticide commonly used for external parasite control in livestock.
When I was growing up, my friend had a goat. It was a great pet. Wonderful.
Wow. Relatives of the freshman whose goat died claim there is no way to cheat in goat shows, by the way.
There is no way.
She's saying it's because of cheating, but from what we've deciphered, she was really just jealous, according to some experts.
There's no room for jealousy in the world of competitive goat showing.
Aubrey has been charged with poisoning Willie and will next appear in court on January 15th. So
that is effed up.
Maybe there'll be a follow-up.
You know what's ironic is if you Google now how much bleach kills a goat, you get her story.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, goes right to her.
Hey, you did it.
All right, in the days leading up to Christmas, stout lovers were left reeling from and this is in the UK, from a nationwide shortage of Guinness, so severe that some pubs were forced to ration pints of the black stuff as taps began to run dry.
So I just Googled how much stout kills a goat.
Supermarkets remain at risk of running out due to customer stockpiling, according to reports, while the maker of the popular stout, Diego, has even sent for backup Guinness reserves from Ireland. And now it can be revealed that Criminals appear to have gone to even greater lengths to beat the drought with a heist that exacerbated a nationwide shortage. A truck carrying 450-liter kegs of the Irish Stout, the equivalent to 35,200 pints, disappeared from a depot in the Midlands in mid-December. It's understood the truck, whose contents were destined for pubs desperate for kegs of Guinness during the festive peak, was stolen from a logistics hub. Diego, who owns Guinness, declined to comment on the alleged theft.
Is that Diageo?
Or Diageo, I'm
Okay.
sorry, Casey, yeah. But sources familiar with the incident confirmed that a subcontractor working for the company in the Diageo supply chain had reported the theft to police. The Guinness shortage has been fueled by its newfound popularity with Gen Z, apparently.
That's crazy.
Many of whom like to pose pint in hand on social media.
Do you remember when we were at the brewery, the Guinness Brewery, and we were in amongst all those kegs? It's a massive operation.
Diageo, which brews the stout at its St. James Gate, which Steve was referring to in Dublin, has intensified its marketing efforts and worked with influencers over the past few years to raise Guinness's profile. And apparently it's taking off so much that they're running out of beer.
That's pretty amazing that that's become sort of the it thing.
And then somebody went and stole 400 kegs of it. All right, and that is what I have for you in the bizarre file this morning. All right, we'll take a break. When we get back, we'll see if you've been paying attention. We'll have a lesson question about today's program, and we have music news, and we'll get to the trash, too. Stay put. Coming back in a moment.
Preston and Steve.
Wherever the people that listen, God bless you if you enjoy it, but I never want to meet you. I never want to see you.
Okay. Are you going to try it, Nick? You said you were.
No, I lied.
Do not.
Get
away! No,
Kathy's trying to force feed it to him.
Are you going to try it? Preston's pretty adventurous, but I'm going to tell you flat out.
I'm not going to eat it.
Take the smell and convert it to taste.
I'll try it.
All right, Casey's going to try it. Wow.
Just put it on the thing there. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Case, and
I'm
please.
not saying you took a big bite.
All right, back me up.
Just do it. 1, 2, 3, go. Come on. Taste it.
Choo-choo train.
Peanut butter.
Open wide.
What do you think? What do you think, Case?
It's horrible.
Did you taste it?
It's horrible.
I'll tell you what.
You're insane.
The aftertaste is not that great. Now, listen, I just took a little baby bite.
You're insane.
All right, so I'll eat that, okay?
Yeah,
eat this part.
That's enough. Any amount is go. All right, he's got it in his mouth. He's tasting it, and he's kind of has a confused look on his face. Now he's got a disgusting look on his face, and now he looks like he wants to ask a question.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
It's not good.
No, but it's almost good.
Okay.
It's
It if you like, it has the texture of avocado.
I don't like the texture. Like it's almost like I ate snot.
It's like you're eating someone's bunghole.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like snot.
It feels like snot. But okay.
All right, seal this sucker off.
It's got like simultaneous flavors.
I will tell you this: they were not lying about the sharpness of the spikes on this thing. If you were to slam this against someone, you would hurt them.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just take a little taste, but there's also like some sort of rice cake or something that has this cooked into it. If you want to try.
Oh,
that.
really?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, okay.
No!
It's been
All right, I'll try that.
All right.
All right, Nick will try
No, you're not allowed to have the rice cake unless you try
fine.
it.
All right, I didn't have my meal. I'll have
made up rules.
Both Casey and I can have the rice cake.
All right, I'm going to try it.
Nick's going to try it. The durian fruit. Go for it, Nick. Okay. Oh, instant regret. Instant regret.
All right, so
It's disgusting.
All right, so now
all right, Steve.
you can now try the rice cake.
Does it taste better than it smells?
A little bit.
I think so.
A little bit.
A tiny bit. Okay.
That's not, but it's not saying a lot.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try a little piece.
All right, okay.
All right.
Oh God. Is there a little seafood in there?
No, I don't want to do it.
There's a little bunghole in there.
Okay.
That is awful.
Yeah, it is.
All right. We have to get to this Surströmming.
You could actually taste the melon in that. Like there was like
Honestly, I understand, Casey.
Gross.
I understand eating things that are not in our normal palate wheel. I got that.
No.
But this it says it makes you less of a human if you eat this. It's disgusting.
A New Hampshire woman is recovering after a rabid bobcat attacked her. It was dusk when Elise Dabrowski made her nightly trip to lock up the chicken coop and decided that she would
lock up the chicken coop. I'm just doing what I do every. got my flashlight. I'm going to go out and lock out the chicken coop. What can possibly go? Oh, no! Oh, Bobcat attack!
She was while she was locking up the chicken coop, she decided she'd do a little bit of weeding in the garden.
There's goddamn weeds all over the place. I want the chicken coop to look good, if not for the chickens, at least for me. And should I wear my sausage necklace? Oh, no!
The 80-year-old grandmother was hacking weeds near her rose bush with her sickle when the bobcat pounced.
My goddamn sickle.
And the bobcat.
Look behind him at a chicken coop. What was that rose?
I just like how you have these different developments in this story.
So anyway, she was hacking the weeds near the rose bush with her sickle when the bobcat pounced on her and sunk its teeth into her face.
Yeah, they go for the head. They go for headshots. The neck and the head.
She said, all I kept thinking is, why? Why is he doing this? Why is this?
Why? I have so many more days to live.
Why is this stupid cat attacking me? She said.
Mother effing back for more. You want more? You want a piece of me? Son of a bitch.
Now she's just pissed.
Yeah.
She's fighting back. Yeah.
We're going out together, you bitch. Yeah, come at me. I'll dice you up. Cut your head off.
She turned her sickle on the beast as some of her 5 dogs scrambled over to help out.
And that's another question. Where are my goddamn dogs?
And she said he just kept scratching and biting, and the dogs came and chased him off. By then, the bobcat had ripped into her in 5 places, causing wounds that would take 60 stitches to close. Her adult son heard the commotion from his yard.
Thanks, Lord Ass. Where were you? I'm out here and fighting Mother Nature, and you're in there watching your game shows.
He was in his yard nearby, and he heard commotion. She said he got the gun and came down.
Now, why don't you go back to the house and put some friggin' bullets in it, you moron?
Came down and killed the bobcat with a shotgun blast.
I know. Actually, you killed one of our dogs, dumbass.
Now, Tuesday, it tested positive for rabies.
Oh, man.
But Dabrowski...
Just not age, please.
But Dabrowski...
I've gone this long avoiding it, and I'm rather sexual.
Wow.
I don't want to get bobcat age. That's the worst.
You've had sexual relations.
Tons of men. There's been an open door policy of this old cooter.
Oh.
It's like a revolving door.
Anyhow.
Times Square.
But Dabrowski considers herself lucky.
I'm very lucky having that bobcat tear my face off.
She said, it could have got my eye, could have got my jugular, could have got anything. I feel very, very fortunate. Her son and her dogs are now...
Just good to be back at home with the... Oh, no, he's back, son of a bitch!
They're all getting rabies shots. But
I hear that they've gotten less...
What, the stomach
painful?
shots?
Yeah, the rabies shots. They modified because it used to be a series of shots in your stomach, as you said.
Yeah. But anyhow, she harbors no ill will toward the bobcat, which already had a face full of porcupine quills before it attacked her. So it had already been having a rough day. So yeah.
Good to see you, Dr. Smithers. I'll just go out and wait in the waiting room. I mean, oh, no! No, bobcat! The bobcat will not give up. It's a battle royale.
You know what? Just relax. Take a bath.
Yeah, I got a little Mr. Bubble. Light some candles. Put on a little Yanni and... oh, no! What the hell? Get out of the... No, you son of a bitch! Where's my loofah?
Where's my loofah? You're going to use that to fight the bobcat off with?
Whatever you have, you got to go for it. Yeah. I don't bathe with a sickle.
Let me go to Carrie. Hi, Carrie. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, what's up, Carrie?
Not much.
Some fluffy clouds in the sky. It looks nice, but it's cool and windy and getting colder over the weekend, and I was seeing kind of an advanced forecast that we may get a couple of snow hits this season, which is not such a bad thing.
No.
We've had some very, very mild winters.
The overarching belief is that it's going to be a mild winter. We get a couple here and there. Listen, the one thing that sucks is the Sunday night into Monday. If it can come a little bit into the week, it looks like it's going to be on Monday, though, if we're going to have something, right?
And we've usually gotten lucky in that regard, too, over the past couple of years. Yeah, it says chance for snow. I don't know to what extent, but I just saw some overall looks that were like, if we do get hit down the road, it might be, we have potential to get a couple of, 6 inches, 8 inches, something like that. So nothing horrible.
No.
It's going to be really difficult, but we may have some snow. So we'll see about that. All right, today's lesson question. Pair of tickets for the Philly Auto Show is what we will be giving away. And that's January 11th through the 20th, of course. But the question, we'll do a car question since we're going to give away tickets to the auto show. You can get 2 aftermarket options with a new Rolls-Royce Ghost. One is the undercarriage protection, or you could also get what kind of animal? 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if you know. The Rolls-Royce Ghost. You could get an undercarriage protection, or you could also get what kind of animal? You had to have heard this. It was around 8 o'clock this morning. 215-263-WMMR, our number. Call if you know the answer.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we'll let those phones ring while we get some stories. Steve, what's going on this morning?
Well, a Los Angeles home where O.J. Simpson had hid from the press after the murders of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman is now up for sale. According to the realtor, the $5.6 million estate features an indoor-outdoor pool and a hidden clump of bloody clothing.
Wow. Oh, my God.
British character actor Angus McGuinness, who appeared in the original Star Wars as an X-Wing pilot, has passed at the age of 77. McGuinness was known to occasionally inflate his resume and once claimed that he had played the Death Star. This is not true. And finally, Kristen Cavallari telling the Dumb Blonde podcast that she's no longer single and is dating a retired athlete. Cavallari's remaining tight-lipped about the mystery man's identity, but many believe it's Terry Bradshaw. That's Hollywood Trash.
All righty, we'll go to the phone, see if you know the answer to this. You can get 2 aftermarket options with the new Rolls-Royce Ghost. One is the undercarriage protection, or you could also get what kind of animal along with that. And Patrick, our first caller answer.
Patrick!
So we'll go to him. Hey, Patrick, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, Preston?
Good, bud. All right, so what's the animal you get with that Rolls-Royce Ghost?
You get a spider monkey.
Yes! Spider monkey. Patrick, hang on. Got those tickets for you. Philly Auto Show, January 11th through the 20th, PA Convention Center. Tickets are on sale at phillyautoshow.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
Got a couple of quick things for you in music news. We'll start with this. Neil Young is taking a stand against Glastonbury, arguing that the festival is under the corporate control of the BBC.
I don't like it.
The 79-year-old musician had not been announced as part of the music festival's lineup, but said that he would not perform at Worthy Farm in June.
So it all works out.
In a letter on the Neil Young Archives website, Young said, "The Chrome Hearts and I were looking forward to playing Glastonbury, one of my all-time favorite outdoor gigs. We were told that BBC was now a partner in Glastonbury and wanted us to do a lot of things in a way we were not interested in. It seems Glastonbury is now under corporate control and is not the way I remembered it being." He added, "We will not be playing Glastonbury on this tour because it is a corporate turnoff and not for me like it used to be. Hope to see you at the other venues on tour." The British broadcaster has partnered with Glastonbury since 1997. Which did not stop Young from performing at the event in 2009. The BBC only broadcast 5 of his songs, however, angering the musician's fans.
It's not contention that he's completely out of his mind.
And the BBC said that at the time that it had spent months negotiating with Neil. They said Neil's management agreed to let TV and radio broadcast 5 songs as they watched and listened to his performance. They believe in the live event and retaining its mystery and that of their artist. Since then, BBC has only increased its coverage of the festival, so he's not doing it. And then this one is kind of out of left field, but I figured I'd throw this in here anyway. Gene Simmons was a master of disguise when he dated Cher. The Cher memoir, part 1.
My name is Sonny Bono.
No, in Cher, the memoir, part 1, the Moonstruck actress writes about a relationship with the Kiss frontman or singer or bass player, whatever you want to call him. When they went out in Los Angeles, Cher noted the lack of makeup that Simmons wore when off stage, and he was able to blend in that way. She said the makeup and the clothes that make Kiss so recognizable also allowed them to have separation between when they were on as celebrities and when they were leading private lives.
Nice
However,
to meet you. My name is Pee Wee Herman.
However, going out with the very famous Cher didn't help. She said he'd want to go out with me as regular Gene. He didn't want to put on his persona when we went on dates, but he didn't want to appear to the public as his private self. Cher said that the band would wear bandanas over their faces like cowboys when they weren't in public as Kiss.
I know you are, but what am I?
The singer also mentioned how it was interesting to watch Simmons transform into his Kiss persona as the demon when he wore the demonic makeup. She said, when I'm in my costume, I might get crazy and I might not treat you. No, he had said, when I'm in my costume, I might get crazy and might not treat you the same. Cher recalls him saying, referring to himself as the demon. After he loomed over and growled at her in full makeup, Cher told him to stop because she would not put up with it.
So that's kind of weird. So he had 3 different levels. There's his around the house, then just his sort of out in public, but not the full makeup and regalia.
Right.
And having to decide which is which.
Yep.
And which one he wants to employ. I can't see ever going out socially and all that Kiss makeup.
As the demon, no. That would not quite work out well.
I'm going to Wawa.
The former couple spoke about the relationship in 1979, and he had said, I'm crazy about Cher, nuts about her. She's my first love. He said Cher is
she's the cat's pajamas.
An untainted soul who has never done anything bad to anybody.
She's the bee's knees.
By the way, what does cat's pajamas mean anyway?
Don't know.
Come from?
It's an old.
Yeah, it's a great kids group right now in the area. The Cat's Pajamas. They're like making music.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that come from?
Nick's looking it up.
Cher, why don't you Google that?
Along with anecdotes about her relationship, Cher's memoir includes anecdotes such as finding out what her legal name was after a birth certificate mix-up, stopping by Salvador Dali's apartment after he hosted an orgy.
Wow.
And meeting Jackie Kennedy. As I read this morning, I'm like, I'm putting that book on my list.
Yeah.
Cher has got stories.
Who draws the short straw and gets Dolly?
Cher, the memoir, part 1 is available for purchase wherever books are sold, and the second part of her memoir is expected to hit bookshelves in 2025. So we shall see.
2 things real quick. World Etymology Day is June 10th. So we should write that down.
Okay.
Secondly, cat's pajamas has to do with the word cat, meaning a cool person, which I guess started happening like in the 20s, 1920s or whatever. And so pajamas were also becoming popular in the 20s. And so those were two cool things at the same time. Where a cool cat.
Cool cat's pajamas.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
you would describe 2 cool things at once, and that's the cat's pajamas.
Because if it was actually a kitty cat's pajamas, that wouldn't be good because cats don't like wearing clothes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But ones that do are cool.
Yeah.
So that just wouldn't work.
Nick, did you see that it says it was popularized by a cartoonist
No, I missed that part.
in the 1920s, Tad Dorgan,
He's a total jerk.
in his comic strip Indoor Sports.
Tad the Dorg man.
What are you doing, Dorgan?
Dorgan.
Dorgan.
All right.
Are there 2 Dorfmans in movies that we love?
Well,
Yes.
Fletch has one, yeah.
Fletch and also Animal House.
Animal
right?
House. Yeah. Fred Dorfman.
Yeah, Dorfman.
Is, that's...
He's a legacy.
Wait, okay, now hang on.
Right, what? I know.
In Animal House, what is his first name?
Kent?
Is it Fred?
Kent.
It's Kent Dorfman.
Kent Dorfman.
Yeah.
And then Fred is
in Fletch.
Fletch.
Yeah.
Fred the Dorfman.
Do you actually meet him?
Yeah.
Because he's in that scene with the cops, right?
Yeah.
Everyone thought the stork was
he's got
Brandon.
Fred, won't he be surprised?
Yeah, he sits there. He sits there looking around like, what the hell's going on?
Right.
And Sammy is the guy he refers to.
Yes.
That's probably not even his name, and I don't know why he reacts so. Okay. Can I bring up something?
Yes.
Everybody thought the stork was brain damaged.
There's a scene in Fletch, and it's been in so many movies, and there's no way this could actually happen. and I know we're talking movies.
Okay.
If you walk into a crowded kitchen of a restaurant and pick up a tray table and walk through, nobody's going to notice it. It's you.
Only if you say, that is better, that is
That's what he does in the movie, but it's in movie after movie after movie.
Well, let's try it.
Where they fake that there, or there's a cart in a hotel and they get.
But a lot of times it's in the restaurant. I've worked in kitchens.
Yeah.
And you know all the people you're working with. You know the servers, you know the fellow chefs. But because it happens in Mrs. Doubtfire, it happens in Fletcher, it could start rattling off
Puts
a
a
bunch
towel
of
over his arm.
TV shows. Yeah, and all of a sudden, you're just a random staff member who we've never met before.
So I was at a restaurant with a friend of mine, and he did it. And-
Seriously?
Yeah, actually, I think Matt Cord was with me. It was a guy I know through Matt, and the reason that he did it was because he had a white jacket on, and we were laughing, and we're like, "You look like the staff," and he was like, "I'm going in." He was like, "I'm going to do it," and he did it once, and you could see. So it was sort of like kind of like a half open kitchen.
Yes.
So we could see him walk through. You couldn't see what they were preparing, but you could see basically like from their shoulders up.
Yep.
So we saw him walk by, and of course, we were dying. He comes, he sits back, he's like, "All right, I'm going back in," and he did it a second time, and then when he did it the second time, they were like, "All right, dude, enough. Like, we know you're not part
like
of it."
maybe if he kept his head down and looked away. But these people, they pick up a tray and they go walking right through the restaurant, and the staff is oblivious. It's just enough.
I mean, unless
Doesn't
you were
work
like
that
a
way.
huge banquet or something, perhaps.
Like giant.
Yes.
If you're putting on a big,
right
at the like the black tie tailgate at the,
but not like a restaurant that has a set staff, as you're right, that
where it's the
everyone
same
knows.
people every day. Okay.
It's bull crap.
Just felt that bring that up. Since
I never
we were
bought it for a second.
heading down that path with Fred the Dorfman.
Yeah, Fred the Dorfman and Kent Dorfman, two
Kent
Dorfmans in two of our favorite movies.
Yeah, with Chevy Chase ties too.
Oh shit! Yeah, because he was supposed to be the guy in.
Did you almost drop the S?
I said sure.
okay.
I was trying to say sure, and then
Shia. Because of National Lampoon.
He was well,
The
and wasn't he supposed to be Otter?
I don't know.
I think, and it ended up going to Tim Matheson. Because Tim Matheson was not as big of a star at the time as Chevy Chase was, and so this might be, I might be making it up, but I think Chevy Chase was originally supposed to be Otter.
All right, real quick, what ties? Is it the same director or writer or anything like that? Because Marissa just told me that Fred Dorfman is Kent Dorfman's older brother.
Kent Dorfman's older brother, and maybe hold on.
He was
Marissa.
the legacy, right?
Yes, he would have been the legacy in Animal House.
Get out of
He was
here.
the one with the car, right?
Yes.
It was Fred's car?
Oh my God, I
That
love
they
it.
destroyed. That'd be
I
great
hope
if it-
that's
yeah.
the case.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful.
It's on the Animal House wiki.
Okay. Oh, I love that.
If that's true, then that is wonderful.
It's like I told you guys about Tarantino doing things like that.
Yes, all the time.
In Django Unchained.
Django is Kent Dorfman.
No, but the Christoph Waltz, the guy who plays his sidekick in that, his last name is Schultz. And then later on in Kill Bill, they bury her in Mrs. Schultz's grave. And if you look on the dates, it would have aligned with that
up.
time frame. And
It's pretty
supposedly
wild.
that was his wife. So stuff like that when it crosses over, I love.
I do
happening.
dig that.
Yep. Anything else, anyone? All right, we're good to go. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll do the letter of the day. What?
I'm right.
What?
All right, so the award banquet, Fletch interrupts. In honor of Fred Dorfman, Fred Dorfman was the name of Kent Flounder Dorfman's brother in National Lampoon's Animal House, which originally was going to feature Chevy Chase as Eric Otter Stratton.
There you go.
There's the connection.
It all came together. I love it when a plan comes together.
Absolutely.
If we could circle the A-team
George
into here.
Peppard was supposed to play the stork.
Wow. All right, well, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back in a second. Thank you, Casey. Stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
Yeah, so we had, my father was an organist for over 50 years, and he passed away 5 years ago, and he had an organ in the house. Now, his organ was an organ that some churches had smaller ones than this one.
But your dad had a large organ?
He had, yeah, thank you. I
didn't need it.
seen my dad's organ.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was like a full pedal and it was 3 manuals, so it had 3 keyboards.
Oh.
And then 4 rather large speakers along with it. And 2 years ago, we found a church in York County to take it. And because it was a huge weight around my mother, like to see it, like he.
Yeah, it was a constant reminder.
Yeah, exactly. So the church that was taking it sent the movers. Well, they told the movers it was a small organ. It was not a small organ. So they asked, did it come through the front door? Yes, it came through the front door with a lot of difficulty. So my dad actually had the back of the house, instead of a slider for the deck, he put in French doors so that if eventually he moved or it needed to be moved, it would be more easily taken out.
Okay.
And even wider steps on the deck. Well, of course, I'm a woman, so of course I didn't know what I was talking about. So after like 20 tries to go through the front door, taking the door off the hinges, etc., I finally was like, would you please go out the back door?
And all this time this is happening, you have full French doors in the back of the house and basically a ramp built to accommodate the organ that you didn't even consider.
Right. I told them from the beginning. And they're like, well, did it come through the front door? Yes, it did, but with a lot of difficulty, you Nimrod.
Did they eventually go out the back door, Carrie?
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah.
After much difficulty.
I mean, to be honest, your dad's big organ was meant for the back door.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And we'll leave you with that, Carrie.
Thank you very much.
The whole phone call was worth it for that line alone.
I love you all.
Your dad's huge organ was made for the back door. Yes. So yesterday was just perfect weather. It was fantastic. It was the zero humidity, nice little breeze, comfortable temperatures. It was great. So we got that. If we could have more of those, it'd be wonderful. But we are in July.
Yes.
And the next couple of days are going to be heating up. So by the time we get to Thursday, mid-90s and humid, it's going to be sweaty, sassy,
moist,
sultry,
sticky, smelly.
Exactly. And there was a hashtag surfacing on social media. Actually, it was out of the UK because they had been having some record temperatures. But the hashtag is boob sweat.
Yes, it's a big dilemma for the more
me,
the more Casey-ish.
Yeah, I was not aware that boobs tend to get sweaty.
I know we suffer from under.
From under cheese?
Yeah,
from under sweat, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it the underneath part that?
Let's consult our large-breasted traffic reporter.
And now, from the Breast Bureau of the WMMR Morning Show, it's Kathy Romano. And now we go to our on-the-scene correspondent, the buxom Kathy Romano, to talk about booby sweat.
I gave you
that introduction not as good as the traffic one. Okay, so what is your question? Does it happen or where?
Yeah, is that something you have to be ready for when you're heading out and it's going to be really hot, or boobs one of the things you got to worry about getting all sweaty?
Yes, my boobs sweat, but I think it depends on, I mean, I can't speak for girls with smaller boobs, but I mean, yes, like I have an underneath part and also my cleavage.
Really? Oh, yeah. So it's
where there's close proximity.
Skin on skin.
Yes, skin on skin.
Now you're not gonna see it. It's not gonna drip through my clothes.
Oh my God!
Like
Are you kidding me? It looks like you've been shot in the chest twice every time it's warm outside. No,
but
you don't see it. But you're in air condition when we see you.
Yeah, and also if you if I were to work out in a cotton sports bra or cotton shirt, you would see it. You would see it there.
It's almost like pits, but with
but
a T. Yeah.
Well, boobs are the new pits, Preston.
Oh, I wish you could have said it.
Knockers are the new pits instead of.
Why can't we say that word?
I know it's so innocuous. It sounds so friendly too.
In fact, there are birds that are called tits.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Titmouse. All right.
Let's just talk about the birds.
Well, it was quiet Wednesday evening in Blue Springs, Missouri, when the police radio crackled with word that a holdup alarm had been triggered at Cerullia's local adult novelty emporium. When the store manager spoke with police dispatchers, he provided a physical description of the tattooed man who stole $90 in merchandise.
They call it cash.
The suspect fled on foot and was running to the grocery store with he said, quote, running north to the grocery store with two of the biggest dongs I sell.
Dude, now I sell some big dongs, but he took two of the bigger ones.
An officer described the suspect as a white male shaved head tattoo on his neck who stole 2 dildos and a bottle of lotion.
Yeah, he stole one of them there lurches, which are huge, and one of them Sasquatches.
The manager recalled swiped a $47 11-inch All-American Ultra Whoppers curved dong intended for use in a strap-on device.
Yes, I'm curious. Do you have the ultra-wide curved dong?
It's the American Ultra Whopper.
Put it aside for me. That's ROMANO. It is the Ultra American Super Curved Dong. Is it not? What is the vein situation like with that? Oh, very good.
The vein situation.
The thief also stole
Would you say there's the end of it? What is that like? Is it wide? Is it wider? Well, I'll come in and see.
And
Is it online? I want to take a look at it.
What's the return policy on that, too? The thief also
You can
stole...
always resell it on the yard sale site.
Yes, on your Facebook site.
Kathy actually
Ladies.
saw resale on
a dildo?
Yeah.
It was
Are you kidding me?
It was a glass dildo. A woman sent it to me, and I emailed her back. I'm like, is this for real? She goes, I promise you, I saw it. And she said, like, a few hours later, it was taken down.
That is crazy.
Now, the thief also stole a 10-inch dildo and a 4-ounce bottle of Doc Johnson's Joy Juice lubricant.
Hi, I'm Doc Johnson. You have trouble in the sack? Things get a little chafed?
With more than 60 stores, Cerullia's, where romance finds fantasy, describes itself as one of the nation's largest and fastest-growing specialty retail chains.
Oh, Cerullia's where romance finds fantasy. May I help you? Yeah, we got about 50 different types of dildos. Come on in. It's romantic. Yeah, we have this thing. It's a dildo attached to a jackhammer. Very romantic.
Founded in 1992.
You'll be whisked away on this piece of hardware. It's going to tear your bunghole out. Romance is the name of the game here. It's Cerullia's. We got a pneumatic drill with 12 rotating dildos on it. Very romantic.
It doesn't sound that romantic.
Paris in springtime.
It's where romance
Have you
finds...
walked along the Champs-Elysees?
It's where romance
Did you
finds...
ever see American in
fantasy.
Paris with Gene Kelly and Leslie Caron? Very much like that. What is it? Oh, it's a bazooka that shoots dildos.
Are so good.
One under the belt.
2025.
This thing might take.
We get things underway. I'll thank a couple of people who swung by this morning. Number one, we had a great conversation with Mr. Shaun Cassidy.
Yeah.
One of the Hardy Boys himself. And man, did he have some stories. He is going to be playing tonight at the City Winery. And he's doing some holiday themes. But he's also intertwining it with some really cool stories, and he had plenty to talk about. So citywinery.com/Philadelphia to get your tickets tonight at 7:30. And then we have Mr. Mike Gempp of the Philadelphia Auto Show. He's the director. He's been at it for 30 years with the
Gempper,
the group. And they have the Black Tie Tailgate taking place a week from Friday. But tickets for the whole event are on sale at PhillyAutoShow.com. And speaking of the Black Tie Tailgate, we're going to have to get a letter of the day in a moment for our Word of the Week prize, which is tickets to that event. And supplying our letter and handling the entertainment for you on this midday, the amazing Ray Cove is here.
Sorry to bother you at work.
No, we'll let it slide. It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too. And you were talking about your guest this morning. I have a new nickname for him because he mentioned them. He's old satin pants. He said something about his satin pants days.
Yeah.
And I almost passed coffee listening to you guys. It happens regularly to people. I don't know if you realize that.
No, when he said that, I was thinking the same thing. That was the era of satin. Satin jacket, satin everything.
Peter Frampton was in satin in that era. Same era. I
Quite
think, you know,
common.
but,
Jackie Bam Bam still embraces satin.
Yeah, he has his moments. Yes, he does. Especially on January 1st.
Right, yes.
And congratulations to Jack again on winning his category with another otherworldly. He did.
So I always get confused as to like what the different titles are because I know there's a bunch of different categories.
But and I've lived here all my life, and I still can't keep it. Oh, good. I almost dropped the S-bomb again. I can't keep it straight either because there's two fancy things.
Right. And he won one of those fancy things?
His division, his contest, though. I was happy to see that. I heard from him yesterday about it. He called in yesterday, right before they got set to go over and line up in March. And it was kind of fun to get his gang on the air a little bit.
Pretty amazing.
Also, his girl, Brittany.
I think she did top 5.
Yeah, second place. And she's
so back
brand
to back?
Yeah, she's brand new to Mummery. I believe maybe last year might have been her first year. And so this year she was like the Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes,
it was awesome.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It was
Those
really
guys
great.
are wild.
Yeah.
They're an amazing couple, the two of them together. Yeah, we're looking at pictures of this.
Yeah, there she is.
from yesterday. Wow, that's super impressive.
Well, Casey, you and I had a commonality this holiday weekend. We both were at MSG. I heard you were there on Sunday. I went on Monday.
Yeah, you never miss a Sunday show. When we talked about, because the show was so fantastic on
fish?
Sunday night.
Yeah, fish at the Garden. Crazy.
And the show was so great that we were literally talking about staying another day and seeing them that night. And you got some good You got some good songs that night. They ended it all with Harry Hood. That was
there were things. I went with Marisa and with her son, who got us the tickets because he knew I'd never seen Fish, and he said, "Well, we're going for Christmas." We went up and spent the afternoon, had dinner with friends, and it was so good. I'm hooked. I'm going to go see him again next year when they come around. So, good fun. So,
all right, do you come supplied with a letter?
I do. It's hard when it's only 2 letters, right?
You'll work your magic no matter what. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter. All right, the Preston and Steve show is brought to you today by the letter
G.
G.
As in G.
All right, we'll get one more letter tomorrow, and we'll give away the prize. We have a pair of tickets for the Black Tie Tailgate. It's the kickoff of the Philadelphia Auto Show. Black Tie Tailgate is on Friday, January 10th. Tickets at phillyautoshow.com. Anything you want to hit about today's program that you'll be doing?
It will be here, and it will be music.
There we go.
As it should be. Filling in for Pierre today. Got the workforce blocks and everything, and ready to go on the Coffee Break Music Marathon straight ahead.
Excellent. Hang out with Ray Coob, gang.
Good to see you, gang.
You too, buddy. I want to thank our sponsors, Preston and Steve Show, brought to you by Duncan, and the Preston and Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Acme Markets, fresh foods, local flavors. Tomorrow on our program, no sad bro. First of all, because tomorrow, it's wild to say, it's Friday.
I know.
That means we'll do a check-in with 6ABC in the morning, and we'll have on the program, as Nick had said earlier, Michael Giacchino's son, Mick Giacchino, who is also a composer and has done the music for the show The Penguin. And is working on some other things, so that'll be really cool. And we'll see what else we can get into for Friday morning. That's it. We're done. So rage on and have yourself a great day, friend. Good to see you again, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.